All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and Matt Flynn.
Let's go, baby, let's go!
From a championship backfield to your morning drive.
Hands to Hester, and Hester,
Yep, got it, 5 out of 5!
You're locked in to Off the Bench.
Flynn is back to throw from the end zone. Boom!
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio, here's Jacob Hester and Matt Flynn.
Yo!
I'm not doing that.
All right.
It's not.
I'm
not
no
doing
yo.
it. No.
All right. Vibes are high this morning here on OTB,
I'm not
guys.
going to do it.
Taylor Shough here with you one more time. Jacob Hester, Matt Flynn, not back quite yet. They needed one more day off. They will, I have been told, almost 90% certain at this point, they will be back tomorrow. We will find out probably sometime this afternoon. But Taylor Shough here with you, hanging out the rest of the morning with you. And we got a lot to talk about. I mean, we got New Orleans Saints. They got a new contract done over the weekend, a big-time contract that had to get done before the start of training camp, which will occur on Wednesday. We're going to talk some LSU football news as SEC media, or the media that was out there at SEC Media Days, I should say, put out their list of first team, second team, third team, like all SEC teams. I have a lot of issues with it. We'll discuss that a little bit later on. We got Devin Snow in his normal spot at 9 a.m. We had a big weekend out there in New Orleans. And then we'll have Ross Jackson at 8:30 hopping on to preview a little bit of Saints training camp, which, of course, I just mentioned is starting on this Wednesday. You heard Alondra there a little bit earlier. My guy Paul O'Neill over here on the video board having to pull a double. Paul's going to be here till about 7 o'clock tonight. How we feeling? Vibes high, vibes low? We somewhere in the middle? How we doing? You got a long one today.
We're somewhere in the middle as of right now.
Okay.
Ask me that at like 4 or 5
Right,
o'clock tonight.
right.
Yeah.
When you got 1 hour to go on AFR, it's like you got 1 hour left, but you've been here for like 12 hours at that point. It's bad vibes. When I saw you send that text when Matt was like, hey, I need somebody to fill in on video because Taylor has to host, and you were the one to respond, be like, I can do it. I was like, oh, man. My guy Paul in for a long one. Look, we've all been there. As I mentioned, we got a jam-packed show today. So right now, let's get this show started.
It's time to get glowing, courtesy of GoFlow IV Spa, where hydration, vitamins, and a summer-ready glow are always on tap. Now, for starters.
Okay, so it was the big story of the weekend here in the state of Louisiana. Look, when rookies are finalizing their deals, traditionally only first-round picks get a fully guaranteed deal. Well, earlier in the offseason, Jaden Higgins, the Texans wide receiver, he got a fully guaranteed deal. Carson Swessinger, the linebacker out of UCLA, he got a fully guaranteed deal as well. Now, they were the top two picks of the second round, so it led to a little bit of a holdout from a lot of second-round rookies. And Tyler Shough didn't have a contract as of this weekend. Well, that is all changed. The New Orleans Saints and rookie quarterback Tyler Shough have agreed to terms on a 4-year contract worth $10.795 million, fully guaranteed. Of course, Adam Schefter reported this on Saturday. He said they agreed to the full contract. At pick number 40, Shough is the last player selected in the 2025 draft to secure a fully guaranteed deal. So as I just mentioned, normally it's the first round pick, right? It's the top 32. Maybe this sets a precedent to where, hey, that top 40, because Shough was at 40. Maybe that top 40 going forward will get that guaranteed money. Of course they did this year. The contract also includes an annual roster bonus structure where Shough will receive the majority of his compensation each year up front during the first week of training camp. So it's nothing new here. The Saints are kind of tinkering with a contract, trying to find the best way to get the player the money that they believe they deserve and to help them out in the cap situation. I got Ross Jackson actually on LouisianaSports.net put out a really interesting article. Obviously, he linked Adam Schefter's tweet, but he mentioned, look, typically a roster bonus, the guaranteed amount of money that is contingent upon a player being on the roster at a designated time. No details on what it's going to look like, what amount of money they're going to get, but Ross said in those circumstances, bonuses kick in during the same year. And he even put an example, like if a player's on the roster at a date ahead of the 2026 training camp and their 2026 bonus kicks in, otherwise teams work ahead, that would mean guaranteeing a 2027 bonus on a date later in 2026. So a lot of jargon there, but look, it doesn't matter how this deal got done. It doesn't matter fully guaranteed, not fully guaranteed. Like, what matters is that it did get done, because training camp is starting up in just a few days, and you're not going to want to have Spencer Rattler out there taking all the first team reps by default. Now, at the end of training camp, if Rattler separates himself, then that's fine. Let him take all the first team reps. But I want Shough and Rattler out there both battling for that quarterback one spot, because it's good for all involved. Competition makes you better. And look, again, if Rattler indeed wins this job, I don't want it to be by default. I don't want him to say, oh, well, Shough's a camp holdout. The contract dispute's going on. He's behind the 8 ball a little bit. He had some catching up to do being a rookie anyways. We're going to have to wait, and maybe start in week 4, week 5, week 6 of the season because he's not up to speed. Well, that's no longer the case. Like, you want to see and you need to see how the Saints offense flows with both guys. The more options, the better, is how I've always looked at it. Like, you look at camps across the country right now. Like, there's a lot of rookie quarterbacks battling for jobs, but all of them were scheduled to be at camp. The one we were wondering about was Tyler Shough. He's going to be there. Spencer Rattler's going to be there. Obviously, those are the top 2 guys, but look, Jake Hayner's in the mix. You see Hunter Decker's right here on the picture behind me. There are 4 guys out there. You want as many guys as possible because this is a revamp. Like, you brought in Kellen Moore to build the offense the way he wanted to. He felt comfortable enough spending a top 40 overall pick on Tyler Shough. Clearly, that's the guy that he would like to run his offense. Now, Shough's still going to have to earn the job. He's not going to come in and say, hey, I drafted you high. You're the guy I want to go with. Go out there even though you've struggled in camp. He still has to earn the job. But the fact that he's going to be out there with the contract negotiations behind him, fully bought in, ready to go in camp, that tells me that he's fully bought in. I'm excited about this. As far as who wins the battle, I don't know. I mean, look, I just laid out that Shough was the guy that Kellen Moore drafted, right? That Doug Nussmeier wanted in the building as well. That's the guy that they targeted. And I know what you're saying. Oh, well, they could have drafted a Jackson Dart in the first round or anything like this. There were reports early on, like 2 months before the draft, that Tyler Shough was a name to keep an eye on for the New Orleans Saints. So it's not one of those things where, oh, the top guys on our board were taken. We kind of waited till 40 and kind of took whatever was left. Shough was a guy that was really, really high on the Saints board. This is a guy that they like. I kind of think that gives him an advantage. Now, obviously, Spencer Rattler has the experience in the league because he had been there a year before, but he wasn't a full-time starter. Now, he got a lot of starts and he played a lot just because Derek Carr was injured for the entire year. The entire offense was injured for the entire year. Again, Rattler has the advantage being in his second year, but Tyler Shough's not your normal rookie. Everyone loves to point out, oh, man, Tyler Shough's old. He's 25 years old, which I've always thought is stupid. Like, yeah, he's a quarterback. He's not a running back. Like, if Tyler Shough comes in, works out, becomes your starting quarterback for the next decade, one, he's only 35 years old at that point, and quarterbacks are playing well into their 40s now. And secondly, no one's going to care how old the guy was when you drafted him if he's your starting quarterback for the next decade. Because if he's your starting quarterback for the next 10 years, well, then it worked out wonderfully being there at the 40th overall pick. You grabbed your future franchise quarterback. Olave appears to be healthy right now. We'll see the health of Rashid Shaheed, but right now, the Saints are about as healthy as they can be going into camp. And I understand they don't have a lot of top-tier guys. There's not any guys out there you're like, hey, these guys are going to be all-pro. The Saints roster is loaded. You have Olave, you have Rashid Shaheed, you have Brandon Cooks. That's a decent 3. Now, I'm not sure you have a bona fide number 1, but all 3 of those guys can play. Cooks a little bit older. Rashid and Olave have had some injury issues, but when they're all 3 fully healthy and ready to go, they're talented players. And last year, you had no depth behind Alvin Kamara. When Kamara needed a breather, you had Kendre Miller, who was hurt and wasn't playing. You had Jordan Mims, who just didn't give you a whole lot of production anyways. Now, behind Alvin Kamara, you have Devin Neal, who, by all accounts, this staff loves. They drafted in the 6th round out of Kansas. You still have Kendre Miller. If he can stay healthy, a lot of people are still high on him. You signed Clyde Edwards-Helaire halfway through the year last year because you were so injured. He's still out there at camp. You just brought in Cam Akers. Now, that's 2 Achilles injuries, but he's a year and a half removed from that second one. Can he get back into form? He's a guy that meant a lot to a Los Angeles Rams team that won the Super Bowl. During that playoff run, you saw a lot of Cam Akers. He's been in some big-time moments. He's produced in big-time moments. The offensive line is another. Like, the offensive line was a straight-up liability last year. That's why Carr was hurt. That's why all your running backs behind Alvin Kamara were hurt. The offensive line was shaky. You bring in Kelvin Banks. It looks like he's going to slide right in there to left tackle. Eric McCoy, in my opinion, one of the best centers in all of football. Taliesin Fuaga likely sliding over to right tackle. Then you move Trevor Penning to guard. You still have Cesar Ruiz, who has been shaky at times, but that's still a guy who you spent a first-round pick on just a few years ago. Can you finally get him some protection between McCoy and the tackle on the other side of him? Maybe try to get as much as you can out of a Cesar Ruiz. So between Banks, Ruiz, McCoy, Trevor Penning, who I hope can work out at that guard spot, and then Taliesin Fuaga at right tackle, I'm not saying this offensive line is going to be best in the league. I'm not saying they're going to be a top 5 unit in the league. Can they be serviceable? Can they be stable? Can they stay healthy and all play together? If you can get any of that, you're in a lot better shape than you were a year ago. We'll see how the quarterback battle shakes out, but with Tyler Shough's contract in the rearview mirror, you got him, you got Spencer Rattler battling it out for QB1, and as a whole, you're pretty healthy overall heading into training camp. All right, we're going to take a quick timeout. When we get back, the SEC media, to wrap up media days, this broke about noon on Friday, put out their all-SEC team and projected order of finish. We're breaking it down next here on Off the Bench.
Off the bench.
All right, go to BoudreauxElectrical.com. Boudreaux's Electrical Services. More power, more protection. Get your free Generac quote right there, top right corner of the website. They'll come out and they will kind of look at your space, tell you exactly where they can put your whole home generator that's going to give you the ultimate peace of mind. Hurricane season is a-coming. We know it's going to happen here in South Louisiana, but you have that protection that we talk about when you have a whole home generator, because you will never have a power outage, right? You'll have your AC, you'll have your lights, you'll have your refrigerator. Everything will be okay. You'll have your TV, but if you don't call them, you won't have that ultimate peace of mind. Go to BoudreauxElectrical.com.
Yeah, we already have some name storms popping up right now. So you know the Gulf of America is going to be heating up here pretty soon in the next couple of weeks. So get protected, be stress-free. Give them a call today. That Generac generator, BoudreauxElectrical.com.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
BRAC teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. BRAC, your #1 park system in the nation.
Rev Business is here to connect your company
From players to legends, Hester and Flynn break down LSU football like only champions can.
Welcome back in. Monday edition of Off the Bench. Taylor Sharp sitting in for Jacob Hester and Matt Flynn. The guys will be back tomorrow for sure. We do have confirmation on that. Mentioned it a little bit there going into break. On Friday, to wrap up SEC Media Days, a list came out that all the media that was out there at SEC Media Days put out their all-SEC team and the projected order of finish. Right now, I want to look at the all-SEC team because I have some major issues with it. When you look at the defense, we'll start there first. LSU has one guy. It's Whit Weeks on the first team at linebacker. Makes a lot of sense. Weeks was excellent last year. If he's fully recovered from that ankle injury that he suffered in the bowl game, then I have no reason to believe that Whit Weeks is not going to be awesome this year as well. Now, the second team, you have one guy as well. Linebacker Harold Perkins. Again, makes sense. You can't put him first team because of the injuries we've seen the last couple of years, but word is they're moving him to the star position full time. I think he's going to thrive there. That's a chance for him to move around. He can cover receivers out of the backfield. He can still rush the passer off the edge. He can still play inside if you need him to. That star position allows Harold Perkins to be very versatile. It frees him up in the Blake Baker defense. I like that. With your specialist, Barian Brown makes second-team returner. Xavier Thomas makes second-team all-purpose. I'm good with that until you see who's in front of them. Like Zachariah Branch from Georgia made first team in both of those categories, so he's first-team returner and first-team all-purpose. I got to be honest. I don't know where the hype around Zachariah Branch is coming from. I know how it started. I don't know why it's continued. So if you remember 2 years ago, opening game of 2023, USC, and I forget who they were playing, but Zachariah Branch, true freshman, first college game, had a punt return for a touchdown and caught a long pass for a touchdown, and people lost their minds. The hype train has not slowed down since. Okay, but during that 2023 season, he had 320 receiving yards, 2 touchdowns, and then in the return game, he had 300 yards, a punt return, just 1 return touchdown. That's his only return touchdown in 2 years. People talk about Zachariah Branch all the time being this dynamic playmaker. He has 1 return touchdown in punts, 1 on kickoff. Like, that's pretty good, but I mean, we had heard about Barian Brown and the records that he had set at Kentucky. He has so many returns in big-time moments. Like, Barian Brown has to be first team on this list. And then when you look at the receiving numbers, a 2-year total for Zachariah Branch, 823 yards and 3 touchdowns. That's in 2 full seasons. I get that we saw Zachariah Branch on a big stage early in his career and he performed well. He hadn't done a whole heck of a lot since then. And it's been 2 years. We got to slow down on the Zachariah Branch hype train. So if any of you listen to our station after AFR, the Chuck Oliver Show normally comes on. I love the Chuck Oliver Show because I'm a football nerd, but I understand, everybody's going to have certain opinions. This was about 2 weeks ago. Whoever was filling in for Chuck Oliver, I don't remember the guy's name. But the point of it was he had a Georgia beat reporter on, and they were chatting back and forth about the Bulldogs. And whoever the guy was filling in for Chuck Oliver goes, look, Georgia hadn't had a 1,000-yard receiver since Brock Bowers like 2 or 3 years ago. I think that's going to change. I think Zachariah Branch is going to be a 1,000-yard receiver. Why? You have a first-year starting quarterback in Gunnar Stockton. You don't have a ton of weapons around him. Your running game, what's that going to look like? Like, how is Zachariah Branch going to get to 1,000 yards? He would have to double his production from a year ago. 503 yards exactly a year ago. That's his best season in college football. How is Zachariah Branch going to get to 1,000 yards? I don't see it. It's hype because you've seen the flashes in big moments, but the consistency has not been there for 2 years now. Going back to it, Barian Brown, Xavier Thomas, second team in returner and all-purpose yards, respectfully. On the offensive side of the ball, Aaron Anderson, Caden Durham, and Garrett Nussmeier all made second team. Anderson, Durham, I'm good with. Anderson over 800 yards last season. He wound up being your leading receiver in terms of yards. And then Caden Durham exploded after about week 3 or 4. Like, he wound up being your running game and kind of carrying you through the rest of the season. I expect him to take a leap forward. I'm good with both of those guys being second team All-SEC. Why is Garrett Nussmeier on the second team? I'm going to continue to bring this up until it changes. Garrett Nussmeier is the leading returning passer in all of college football, meaning nobody starting at quarterback this year in college football threw for more yards than Garrett Nussmeier did a year ago. Nobody. And it's funny, Matt Musso came up to me Friday afternoon because it's when the list came out. He goes, hey, guess who's first team All-SEC quarterback? I'm like, all right. You came up to me and you're asking me this. It means it's not Garrett Nussmeier, which is already ridiculous. I was like, I don't know. Is the Arch hype train exploding? He's like, no, it's not Arch. I was like, a lot of people like DJ Lagway. I still need to see a lot, but there's a lot of hype around DJ Lagway. No, it's Lenora Sellers from South Carolina. Okay. Lenora Sellers did some nice things last year. But when you look at Sellers versus Nuss by the numbers, Lenora Sellers, 65%, 2,500 yards, 18 touchdown passes, 7 interceptions. Garrett Nussmeier, 4,000 yards passing, 29 touchdown passes, but he did have 12 interceptions. I mean, Nuss almost doubled his yardage total. Now, everybody's going to say, okay, well, you got to take into consideration Lenora Sellers' ability to run. Sure, that's fine. I did that. Lenora Sellers, passing and rushing combined, 3,200 yards, 25 touchdowns. Garrett Nussmeier still has him beat by almost 1,000 total yards of offense and 7 touchdowns when you take into consideration the 3 touchdowns Nuss had on the ground. It's not really close. And then everyone's going to say, like, I don't remember who it was, but Matt Moscona at SEC Media Days had interviewed one of the SEC media guys out there, and they said, oh, well, Lenora Sellers is going to be my first team All-SEC QB. And when Matt asked why, he said, I can't get the Clemson game out of my head. He went on the road. He beat Clemson late in the year. He was excellent. That game was 17-14. Lenora Sellers did not throw a touchdown pass. Like, again, that game was 17-13. It's not like he went out there and lit up the scoreboard. Now, in Sellers' defense, before that game, I mean, he had a really good 4-game stretch. So before the game against Clemson, he threw for 244, 238, 353, and 307. Multiple touchdown passes in both those games. That was great. A&M, Vandy, Missouri were 3 of those games. Now, the last one was Wofford, but it doesn't matter. That's still a good sample size. But against Clemson, 164 yards passing, no touchdowns, and a pick. Now, he ran for 166 yards and 2 touchdowns, but I have major question marks on Lenora Sellers' ability to throw the football. Go back and watch the South Carolina-Alabama game. In the fourth quarter, South Carolina is going down the field to win the game. If Lenora Sellers hits a wide open man in the back of the end zone that he wound up airmailing, South Carolina beats Alabama, and they should have won that game. But he missed the easy throw. So you look at the Clemson game, okay, 164 through the air, no touchdowns and a pick. They lose the bowl game to Illinois. Now, that was a good Illinois team, but 260 yards, a touchdown. And then they shut him down on the ground, which is why they ultimately lost that game. 11 carries for 19 yards. You're kind of starting to see the picture. When you shut him down and he no longer has the ability to run, he's limited as a passer. So the numbers from last season aren't even close. But I was like, okay, let's give them the benefit of the doubt. Maybe they're projecting to next season. When you project to next season, like, it's almost worse. And then also, going back to the end of last season, throw those numbers out the window. Because if you look at Garrett Nussmeier, when Chris Hilton was fully healthy, last 3 games of the year, Vanderbilt, Oklahoma, the bowl game against Baylor, Garrett Nussmeier, 72% completion, 7 touchdowns, 1 pick. When you finally had that deep threat to open up the offense. Lenora Sellers did not have that. But if you're projecting to this year, I think the gap gets even larger. LSU's loaded with weapons. Yes, they lose Kyron Lacey. He made some big plays for you last year. Yes, you lose Mason Taylor, the best tight end in program history. Trey'Dez Green and Bauer Sharp, the combination of those two might actually give you more versatility than you had with Mason Taylor. You bring in Berrien Brown, Nick Anderson. You get Aaron Anderson back. Xavion Thomas is there. Chris Hilton's there. You just went to SEC Media Days. They're obviously expecting big things from him. Jelani Watkins has more speed than anybody out there if he could ever get on the field. Teron Francis was a high 4-star. Phillip Wright was a 4-star receiver. And these are guys that hadn't even stepped foot on the field yet. Kylan Billiott's out there. If Kyle Parker can bounce back from his injury, you get the point. LSU has a lot of weapons. And most of those guys I just mentioned have already made big plays for you. Who's South Carolina's top weapon? Like, if I ask the average football fan, name me South Carolina's number 1 receiver, they're not going to be able to do it. And everyone wants to say Nicholas Harbor. But I'm not sure that's true. Like, Nick Harbor is a 6'4", 235-pound freak that runs a 4.3 40-yard dash, and he hasn't done anything in college football. He has a lot of potential. He has a lot of athleticism. He has done nothing. He's entering his junior season. So he's had 2 full years of football that he's already played. His best year was last season, where he had 376 receiving yards and 3 touchdowns. That's it. You have Rocket Sanders in the backfield. You have Lenore Sellers and their ability to run. That's fine, but find me the weapons that are going to help out Lenore Sellers. Not only is Garrett Nussmeier a much better and much more polished passer than Sellers, I personally don't think it's close. The weapons and the guys around them that can help out their quarterback and make that guy better, it's not even close. So Nussmeier has the number advantage from a season ago by a lot. He has a lot more weapons, in my opinion, heading into the season. What am I missing here? Because, again, if you go by raw numbers, it's Garrett Nussmeier. If you go by what you're projecting in next season, I don't know how it's not Garrett Nussmeier there as well. To me, this screams laziness by the media. I mentioned when Matt had, I can't remember who it was. Matt had the guy on at SEC Media Days, and he said, I can't get the end of the season out of my head. Garrett Nussmeier ended his season better than Lenore Sellers. So throw that out the window. And I understand Lenore Sellers got hurt right before halftime in the LSU game. And if he doesn't, South Carolina likely wins that game. I understand that. But the fact of the matter is, he did leave that game, and LSU did win that game. So LSU had the head-to-head over South Carolina a year ago. Whether they should have won it or not doesn't matter at this point. Nussmeier went on the road and beat South Carolina. He had 7 touchdowns and 1 pick through the last 3 games of the year. He has a ton of weapons coming in. Lenore Sellers doesn't have any of those things. You lost the bowl game to Illinois, and everyone wants to talk about how you dominated Clemson. It was 17-14. It was a defensive game. You ran for 166 yards. That's great. You threw for less than 170, threw a pick, and no touchdown passes. Like, I don't understand what I'm missing here with Lenore Sellers. I think this is laziness by the media. I think it's recency bias because everyone wants to talk about Sellers late in the season. However, if you actually do your research and dig into the numbers, it shouldn't even be recency bias because Nuss was better at the end of the year. All right, we're going to take a timeout. When we get back, we're going to continue to break this down. The SEC projected order of finish came out as well. I'll give you the top 3. Give you my thoughts on that next. You're on Off the Bench.
Off the Bench.
Pelican Roofing on the OTB squad. PelicanRoof.com is the website. Get that instant roof quote right there on the homepage of the website. It's going to pull up, type in your address, home business, gives you an outline of your roof and a great idea of what it would cost right there on the site. See the 5-star reviews on the homepage of PelicanRoof.com. So many 5-star reviews. Yelp, Facebook, Google. The internet hates everything. They love Pelican Roofing. Go check out those financing options as well. PelicanRoof.com.
Yeah, the internet does love Pelican Roof, and for good reason too. Quality work, customer service is second to absolutely nobody. And yeah, we get it. Roof is a big deal. You might be a little bit nervous about calling and having to go through that, but give them a call. 0% financing for up to 21 months for qualified buyers. Check them out today in Lafayette, in Baton Rouge. PelicanRoof.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, Refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
At Atmos Energy, our smart choice solutions help customers save energy and emissions with rebates up to $500 off high-efficiency natural gas appliances, smart thermostats, and weatherization upgrades. Together, we're fueling our energy future.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. This, it's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
You don't let her see the way she loves me, then maybe you would understand why I feel this way.
Tigers turn talkers. This is Off the Bench.
All right, go to GoTommys.com, G-E-A-U-X, Tommys with a Y.com. Tommy's windows, doors, and siding. You will clearly see the difference when you go to the website, and no matter what you're trying to get done. Now, you can find a gallery of work, testimonials of past clients, and so you're going to see what they've done in the greater Baton Rouge area. But the thing I always encourage you, have Tommy and the team come out, because about 6-8 months ago, I had them come out and like, hey, here's what I got going on. I really don't know what to do. I hadn't seen a lot of this. I'm like, oh, we'll come up with a plan. That's all I said. Like, we'll come up with a plan. They'll take care of it. They will customize your job to whatever your needs are at your home, at your business. GoTommys.com.
Yeah, Tommy's windows, sidings, and doors. The championship company ever since 2016 on the Angie's Award list. 2016 all the way to right now, 2025. Go check them out. See what they can do. Integrity, dependable, professional. And most importantly, when you're doing a job, you want somebody efficient. You want to get them in and out of your house and doing a great job. GoTommys.com.
All right, welcome back in. Hour number one here on a Monday edition of Off the Bench. Taylor Sharp sitting in one more time for Jacob Hester and Matt Flynn. They are both out today, obviously, but they will be back tomorrow. Okay, the SEC projected order of finish voted on by the media that was out there in Atlanta last week has been revealed, and the Texas Longhorns get the most votes. They are projected to finish first coming up in the 2025 college football season. They are followed by Georgia, Alabama, LSU, then a big gap. I mean, like 500 votes all the way down to South Carolina at number 5. For what it's worth, it's so funny. We were talking on Friday about the teams we thought were going to be the worst. I picked Arkansas, Kentucky, Mississippi State. Well, apparently that wasn't a hot take. Bottom 3, Arkansas, Kentucky, Mississippi State in that order. Vanderbilt right above them. I don't necessarily have a huge issue with Georgia, Texas, Alabama all being ahead of LSU, but I do want to point out that there are obvious issues with all 3 of these teams. It's almost refreshing looking at it and saying, hey, there's not one dominant team coming into the season where you look and you say, man, that team's going to steamroll everyone. All the other teams are fighting for second. You don't really have that. Because when you look at Georgia, Gunnar Stockton, their starting quarterback this year, started one game last year. Now, he played in the SEC championship against Texas, and he played well. I mean, they didn't ask him to do a ton. He went 10 of 16 for about 70 yards. But he played well. He almost got it done for him. And then he plays Notre Dame in the college football playoff, and he performed well as there despite the fact that they got the loss. So that's two defenses that were ranked in the top 5 a year ago. And Gunnar Stockton wasn't a disaster going in when he didn't have a ton of experience. He looked like he belonged. He has a full offseason as the starter in this program. I think he'll be fine, but there's still question marks there as well. Again, going back to the weapons on the offensive side for Georgia, they didn't have a ton last year. I mean, there's always a guy that's going to break out that we're not talking about preseason. I understand that it happens for every team. But right now, everyone believes it's going to be Zachariah Branch. I don't, just because we haven't seen it for 2 years out there at USC. Maybe it is. Maybe a change of scenery for Branch. He's going to play with his brother, Zion Branch, who's also at Georgia. Like, maybe the comfortability factor will help elevate his game. We'll see. Now, when you look at Georgia's schedule, I don't hate it. I mean, they open the season with Marshall at home August 30th. That's a win. You're going to play Austin Peay the next week. That's a win. You got 2 layups weeks 1 and 2. But then you go to Knoxville against Tennessee September 13th. We've talked a lot about Tennessee. The other day I listed them as probably my biggest disappointing team that'll finish the season in 2025, less than what people think. But Knoxville's still a tough place to play. You have to go to Neyland Stadium. That defense is still going to be really good. How's Gunnar Stockton going to perform in that environment? Georgia probably gets that win just because I trust Kirby Smart a heck of a lot more than I do Josh Heupel, but that's not an easy game. So you start with 2 easy ones. Then you have Tennessee. You have Alabama at home. I think there's question marks around them. We'll get to Alabama here in a second. So let's say you go 3-1. You lose to either Tennessee or Alabama. You take care of business in the first 2 games. Kentucky, that's a win. I think they're going to be terrible. You have to go to Auburn. I think they're going to be better than they were a year ago, but that's a win. You're sitting at 5-1. Ole Miss at home. I think you win that game. You're 6-1 at this point playing Florida in Jacksonville. That's going to be a tough game. That's a toss-up game for me. Even if you lose that game, you end with Mississippi State. That's a win. That puts you at 7-2. Now, Texas comes to Athens. That's the game that's going to define. Because if Georgia has 2 losses by that point, they have to beat Texas to get into the playoff. If they only have 1 and they beat Florida, you can lose this game, no sweat, still hopefully make the playoffs. And then you close the season, Charlotte, Georgia Tech. There's some tough games on the back end, but you start with 2 easy ones, Marshall and Austin Peay. And then there's a little wiggle room in there as well. As far as Texas goes, the schedule as a whole is not that bad. But you may have the toughest opening game out of anybody in the SEC, maybe outside of LSU. You have to go to Columbus, Ohio on the road and play Ohio State week 1 of the season. I have said time and time again, I'm going to continue to say it. I think Ohio State wins that game. I think Texas starts the season 0-1. Not necessarily saying, Arch Manning is going to be a disaster on the road. I think Julian Sayin is going to be really good. He has a lot of weapons to throw to. That defense for Ohio State is still going to be good, and it's so hard to win in Columbus, especially when, it's your first start knowing you're the guy. It's your first big-time start. Arch made 2 starts a year ago. They weren't elite teams. I think Texas loses that game. But San Jose State, UTEP, Sam Houston, all wins. You're 3-1 going to the Swamp. You take care of that. You're 4-1 heading into the Red River rivalry. I think you're a better team than Oklahoma. We'll see, but if you get that, you're 5-1. Then you got Kentucky, Mississippi State, Vanderbilt. I mean, you're winning all 3 of those. You have to play Georgia late in the season. Again, even if you lose that, you finish with Arkansas and Texas A&M. I think you're better than both of those teams. I don't hate Texas's schedule. Same with Alabama. You open with Florida State. That's tough on paper, but Florida State was awful a year ago. I don't know. They're going to have to be significantly better to win that game. Now, it is in Tallahassee, but I think the Crimson Tide win that. You'll beat ULM. I think you beat Wisconsin at home. Georgia's a tough one, but then you have Vandy, Missouri. How good are they going to be? Tennessee, but then South Carolina, LSU, Oklahoma. Alabama, by far, out of these 3, in my opinion, has the toughest schedule. Because you're playing Georgia on the road, and then you're your section there with three really tough teams, South Carolina and LSU being two of them. That's tough. But with Texas, look, Arch Manning, first year as a starting quarterback, that's tough. You lose Gunnar Helm, Isaiah Bond, Matthew Golden. Those are your top three receivers from a year ago. You did a good job in recruiting. Khalil Lockett, 5-star freshman. Jamie French, 5-star freshman. Both of those guys, this staff here in Baton Rouge, wanted badly. They choose the Texas Longhorns. Those guys could emerge. Could. We'll have to see it. Now, Quintravian Wisner, their running back, he's a stud. Love what I saw from him a year ago. But you lose a little bit of depth in that room as well. Jaden Blue, he plays for the Cowboys now. He was solid for you a year ago. I think Arch is going to be a good quarterback. I think he's talented enough, but he's stepping in. First year as a full-time starter, losing a lot of weapons, and you have to play Ohio State on the road week 1. I think it's a tough ask to ask them to win that game. But the next 3 after that, you should win comfortably. For Alabama, I still got to get there with them. Ty Simpson was unable to beat out Jalen Milroe for 3 years, and I personally did not think Jalen Milroe was a very good quarterback. I think he was a very good runner. I think he struggled mightily in the passing game. And we saw Ty Simpson a little bit 2 years ago against South Florida when they pulled Milroe. It wasn't pretty. And he really hasn't played much since then. Stud wide receiver in Ryan Williams. Outside of him, there's a little bit of a question mark. Jam Miller's in the backfield, but he's a good SEC back. He hasn't shown the ability yet to be elite. Maybe he does, but that's not an elite Alabama weapon like you're used to seeing. Look, there's a lot of question marks around all these teams. And I'm not sitting here saying LSU is some juggernaut, but having an elite, proven talent at the quarterback position gives you an incredible advantage every single week. Now, will LSU win the SEC? I'm not going to sit here and say yes, like maybe, maybe not. Who knows at this point? But what they did do, they did a great job of filling their needs in the offseason. O-line is a huge question mark. There's no question about it. But you got a lot better at receiver. You got way better at DB. Like A.J. Halsey and Tamarcus Cooley were two big-time pickups at the safety position. You brought in DJ Pickett, the number 1 corner in America, as well as 2 transfers, Jackson and Mansour Delane. I think you're a lot deeper depth-wise on the defensive line. Now, we'll see, who overperforms, who underperforms on that line. But at least body-wise, you're a lot deeper than you were a year ago. And I think you're really good at linebacker. I mean, linebacker is a position on this team we don't talk about enough. You have Whit Weeks. You have West Weeks, who's done some solid things. Devon Keys looked like a stud at the end of the year. I think he's going to slide in there. And you have some talented young guys behind him, including the third Weeks brother, Zach Weeks. I think you're good at linebacker. Like, outside of offensive line, to me, there's not a ton of question marks, even at the running back position. Because you have Durham. Now, you lose Josh Williams. Caleb Jackson's back. You added Harlem Berry, the number 1 running back in the country. JT Lindsey was a high recruit as well. People kind of forget about him. That's 4 really, really talented running backs. 3 of them can all spell Caden Durham, who I think is going to get a lot better this year. Not saying LSU is going to win the SEC. I'm not saying that Texas, Alabama, and Georgia are going to be disasters because I think they'll all have good seasons. But there's question marks around all of these teams, including LSU. We'll see which team advances coming up this upcoming season. All right, we're going to take a quick time out. When we get back, UFC 318 out there in New Orleans. It was a classic, a heck of a fight. We're breaking it down next to close out hour number 1 here on Off the Bench.
Off the Bench.
The thing that I am most excited about seeing in the office is our brand new interactive whiteboard thanks to Gulf Coast Office Products. I cannot wait to break it down, watch a little tape, watch a little film, and we cannot thank them enough for donating that to us. Very excited for that. But there's so many different things that Gulf Coast Office Products can do for you. I mean, we always talk about it. I mean, the number 1 in the print game. It's not even close. Leader in the state of Louisiana. You're going to get a human being as well, Matt. And I know, look, you've got a business. You deal with this all the time. The ease of having one bill, no matter how many different machines you have with GCOP. That is just another luxury when you partner with them. GCOPnet.com.
Yeah, that's a good thing about them being a local company, but a big company now. That you get that personal service, you get that personal touch. Everything they do is absolutely top-notch. Why not choose Gulf Coast Office Products? Go see how they can help you. GCOPnet.com.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is taking $22,500 off MSRP on the brand new 2025 Ram 1500 Laramie with $22,500 off MSRP with a complimentary 7-year powertrain warranty that comes with all new Bayou Automotive vehicles. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
When it comes to industrial construction, River Parish Contractors can do it all. Mechanical, structural, custom fabrication, specialized welding, and turnaround services. Strategically located in between Baton Rouge and New Orleans, we have the local team with the experience and commitment to safety to manage the most complex industrial projects. Period. Here's the deal. Partnering with us means your project is delivered on time, on budget, and most important, safely. River Parish Contractors, let's get building.
You gotta believe in a dream. Believe. You gotta believe in a dream. Believe. You gotta believe. My whole team on wild.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
At Luba Workers Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
...2007 champs, purple and gold to the core. This is Off the Bench with Hester and Flynn, Baton Rouge's go-to for all things Louisiana sports.
Well, it's not Off the Bench with Hester and Flynn today. They are both out. They will be back tomorrow. Taylor Shough sitting in the host chair for the next little bit over 2 hours right now. Hanging out with you here on this Monday morning. We got Alondra Villarreal and Paul O'Neill here as well. Okay, the big event of the weekend on Saturday night, UFC 318 out there in New Orleans. Look, it was the final fight for Dustin Poirier. He comes back to his home state, and my goodness, did they put on a heck of a show. Him, Max Holloway, I mean, just beating the crap out of each other. It goes the full distance. Ultimately, Max Holloway, not Dustin Poirier, does get the victory by unanimous decision. We were both kind of wrong on the show on Friday. I picked unanimous decision by Dustin Poirier, so what the hell do I know? But excellent fight all the way around. I mean, the two guys beat each other up. Alondra, you were actually in attendance at this fight, so we'll set the scene in just a second. But right now, was it the right choice? Should Holloway have won this fight?
Actually, yeah. I know I sent like that text in the group chat, but I was just joking. And also, whenever we were talking about it, I was like, I want Dustin to win, but I didn't really give a pick because I kind of figured it was
Well, Dustin said it himself, right? Like,
yeah.
You were saying he was like, 3 times is almost impossible against this guy.
Yeah. So he had already beat him twice. It is hard. I mean, they're both really good fighters. And, yeah, I think it was the right decision. Max looked better than him in almost every single round. So it was yeah. It sucked that he didn't win, but despite that, the send-off was great.
Yeah.
Like, the vibes were so high at the Smoothie King Center. I was getting chills, like, the entire time I was there. They kept playing, like, these video montages of him and, like, his career in the UFC and his friends and family sending him, like, video messages and stuff. And then everybody would just be, like, cheering super loud. The vibes were super high inside the Smoothie King Center. So even though he lost, it was still a great way for him to go out. His last 2 fights just really solidified him. Even though he did lose the last 2, like, it just really solidified him as a great fighter, and he had a great career in the UFC. So great send-off for him. And it was also a really good way to end his career too, like fighting Max Holloway.
Well, we talked about it Friday, right? Like a lot of these fighters, like they'll have their big fight, and then their last 2 or 3 fights, you know, they'll fight a middle tier, lower tier UFC fighter. Like we were giving credit to Dustin on Friday. Like, hey, you're not going out quietly. Like, you're fighting a guy who's a legit fighter, and like, you know, in terms of like. Because there's so many people like, oh, Dustin Poirier was robbed. Like, I agree with you. I probably would have given it to Max Holloway.
I actually don't think he was, yeah.
But at the same time,
I don't think it was actually that close.
It's one of those fights, though, that, like, you could watch 3 different times and see something you missed the time before. Like, it went the full distance. Like, there was so much time in the octagon. There were so many things that were occurring. Like, there was one round, I think it was the second, where I'm like, oh, Poirier's about to finish him. And then I'm like,
it was the second. And then Poirier. He jumped the gilly. Like, oh my gosh. Yes.
Like, they almost finished each other.
My guy lives and dies. Yeah. My guy lives and dies by the gilly. But,
so set the scene for us. What was the overall? This was your first UFC fight.
Yeah.
Right?
It was awesome.
What were the vibes like?
The vibes were so high. And this was, so I was telling y'all, like, I don't know where they put the media for UFC fights. I could be anywhere.
Yeah.
And then I go up. So the girl, whenever she gives me my credentials, she was like, okay, just go up there and you can go to the press ledge. So I was like, okay, I'm going to be like in the press box, whatever. So then I go up there and the stuff that's like on my credential isn't anywhere to be found.
Oh, like where
I'm at. Yeah. I don't know why I just like stumbled on my word. So I asked for help and they were like, oh, you're on the floor. And I was like, shut your mouth. And then I go down there and it was freaking awesome. Like, I could, even the prelims, so I got there like when the prelims started, and it was just great. Like, I can see their sweat flying off of each other when they were getting hit, and like I said, everybody was there to support Dustin, and like a Louisiana boy ending his career in his home state, and you know, people in Louisiana, just like everywhere else, love Louisiana. So it was awesome. And it was probably one of like the best experience. So I think, are you playing it right now, Paul? There's a video Paul's playing right now of Dustin, like when he's leaving. I took that video. Like, that's how close to him and like all the action that I was. So it was awesome and a great experience. And I think that and Omaha are like in my top 2 life experiences ever.
Well, like, I imagine, like, okay, people say this about hockey, and it's true. Like, the TV viewing to in-person viewing is such a drastic change.
Yeah.
I imagine UFC's that times 10. Like, watching UFC on TV, great. Like, it's entertaining. You can sit there on your couch and cheer and everything. Being there in person, like, you're hearing the walkouts, you're seeing the atmosphere, the lights and everything like that. Like, I imagine that's got to be one of the biggest differences between, like, watching on TV and being there in person. And, like, you know, the send-off for Dustin Poirier, though, is kind of where I want to focus right here with the last minute before we go to break. Like, I don't know if anybody out there listening, like, saw these videos. Like, Max Holloway's son went up to Dustin Poirier after the fight, taking pictures with him, congratulating him on a career. Like, Holloway was waiting for Poirier outside of his dressing room when he came out. He's like, dude, how the hell did we not win fight of the night? Like, we almost finished each other in the second round, and they're chatting about it. They're like,
should have won fight of the night.
Who got fight of the night over us? Like, you could tell that there's mutual respect between these two guys. Like, to your point, yes, like, in a perfect world, the result of the fight is different, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like, in the end of it, it doesn't matter. This doesn't taint the resume or the reputation of Dustin Poirier. He's done enough up to this point. It doesn't elevate Max Holloway. He's done enough to this point anyways. Like, both of these guys were so established that, like, this was a fight to put on a show, and New Orleans showed up and showed out. By the way, highest number of money at the gate ever in the history of the Smoothie King Center, regardless of event. Concert, well, Pelicans game's not going to be in that number. Let's point that out right now. But anything, that was the highest total gate of any event in the Smoothie King Center. Like, we talk about it all the time. Hey, it's great that they're doing this, but did they do enough to bring other fights in the future? I think they did. All right, that's going to do it for hour number 1 of Off the Bench. We're coming back. We got 2 hours left here on OTB.
Off the Bench.
It's not good when the old intranet is spinning and you're like, oh, we got to get that world clock going.
Yeah,
Switch to the phone and we got it working. It's okay. Just like K to Z is going to get you working. Interior, exterior, does not matter. KTOZblinds.com is the website. Have Brandon Barton and his whole team come out to your space. It is one of the cool things about K to Z. Like Brandon Barton, who is the owner, he'll be there. Like he's going to be one of the guys oftentimes that is on the project saying, yeah, this is what you need. Let's go with this color. He's going to get like a booklet. It's going to like open it up to the perfect page. Here's what you need. Incredible service. KTOZblinds.com.
Yeah, functionality, but also like make your house just look more beautiful, look better. Financing options. Go to their brand new website, K to Z Interiors and Outdoor Living, KTOZblinds.com.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work, creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.
Rev Business is here to connect your company beyond your storefront. We're here to power your passion, improve your communication, and link you to your customers with the services you need and the local support you deserve. Backed by our commitment to 5-star reliability. For a limited time, get internet plus 2 hosted phone lines for only $133. A powerful combination at a great price. Visit letsrev.biz. Rev Business.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and Matt Flynn.
Okay, here we go.
Where the plays get broken down and science gets denied.
Hey, they said I gotta come off the bench.
Hour 2 of Off the Bench, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio, starts now.
All right, welcome back in. Hour number 2 here on a Monday edition of Off the Bench. Taylor Sharp sitting in the host chair for Jacob Hester and Matt Flynn. Both of them will be back tomorrow. Got a text from Moscona on Saturday saying, hey, can you host OTB on Monday? Jake's out. I was like, okay. I'm good to do it. What about Matt? He's like, Matt's at the beach. Apparently Alondra knew that. I didn't know that. But I'm like, hey, man, shout out. Take a beach trip after SEC Media Days. I'm all about it. More power to him. But they are apparently both back tomorrow. Jake he told us he had something to do with the NFL flag football thing that's going on right now. I think he's actually probably there right now because he said it doesn't start till about 9:30. So he's probably there as we speak. Okay, look, we were SEC football heavy in hour number one. Then we close out the hour wrapping up a UFC 318, which was just an electric event out there in New Orleans this weekend. Coming up this hour, Shamar Stewart for the Cincinnati Bengals. Like, normally we wouldn't talk a lot of Bengals on the show, but you do have Joe Burrow, you have Jamar Chase, so it's somewhat LSU related. He did not report to camp on Saturday with the rest of the rookies, and he is still unsigned, and neither side seems to be budging one bit. We'll talk about that a little bit coming up. Ross Jackson's going to join us at 8:30, preview some Saints training camp. We had Nick on Friday. Wanted to have Ross today, get a little bit different perspective. And then hour number 3, Devin Snow is going to jump on. He was also out there at UFC 318. I'll get his thoughts on that. And then we'll close it out like we do every day with Ask the Bench. Right now, though, wanted to move it up a little bit. It is 8 o'clock. It is Monday. It is now time for Weekend Winners.
That's how winning is done.
That's right! We can't have anyone freak out there, okay? We've got to keep our composure. We've got too far.
I'm by winning. I win here and I win there. Now what?
Are you doing what it takes to win a championship?
Wow, winning.
Well, then I guess there's only one thing left to do.
What's that?
Win the whole thing.
All right, Weekend Winners every Monday around this time. We will let our own Alondra Villarreal go first. Alondra, winner or loser, what we got?
So I'll start with the weekend loser.
You love a weekend loser, and I respect it. I do
love a weekend loser. I think Matt said the other day, like, I don't feel like we do losers enough, and I'm like, I do them.
You seek them out.
Right, I do them at least every week. I have a loser. But sometimes you just gotta. I feel like we need to bring back shame a little more, and sometimes you just need to call people out for being a loser. And this week, the weekend loser to me is Kelsey Plum.
Why do you hate women, Alondra?
So I certainly hate women so much. I'm a known woman hater, but I actually think Kelsey Plum is the one that hates women because, so if you missed it, the WNBA all wore shirts that said "Pay us what you owe us."
Oh, I saw it.
Which is a whole different other beast in of itself, and I don't know enough to talk about that. I do know that the WNBA operates at a loss, so I'm not really sure who owes who.
I think last year was $50 million.
But I'm also not like a economic person. But anyways, Kelsey Plum. Back to Kelsey Plum. There was a post-game press conference, or just a press conference, where she was talking about it. And for some reason, she felt the need to call out Caitlin Clark. So they were talking about the shirts and how they all had a meeting beforehand to kind of like express solidarity or whatever. And she was like, not to tattletale, but 0 members of Team Clark were very present for that. And I feel like I've seen so many different instances in where Kelsey Plum is kind of crapping on Caitlin Clark. And that is so insane to me because if there's any reason why the WNBA owes you anything, or if there's any reason why people even kind of pay attention to the WNBA now, not to say that some people didn't before, but like a lot more people pay attention to the WNBA, and the WNBA is a topic of conversation because of Caitlin Clark. So for you to like call her out like that and call her out all the time, it just screams hater. And it also screams just like, I don't know, but it's just not, it's not a good look for Kelsey Plum for her to always, for some reason, have a comment about Caitlin Clark, which is the only reason why the WNBA is even remotely relevant now.
I appreciate you for bringing this up. Like, it ain't just Kelsey Plum either. Like,
Right.
It seems like so many people out there hate on Caitlin Clark.
Yeah.
Like, jealousy is a bad look for you people because that's what this is. If you want to be paid what you owed, guess who's going to bring in that revenue? Guess who's bringing in more eyeballs than anybody else in this sport? It's Caitlin Clark. You don't have to like her, but get on board with what she's doing. She is a tantalizing, polarizing figure. She is coming in and bringing eyeballs to the sport like never before. Like ESPN put out a ratings chart the other day, and I don't remember the numbers. I don't even know where you're going to find the chart, but like the numbers had spiked incredibly high after Caitlin Clark got into the WNBA. It's continued this year. Like, if you truly want to advance the sport of the WNBA, then you should get behind Caitlin Clark full force and just go ahead and make her the face of the league. Like, I don't really understand all this jealousy. Like, people are saying, oh, well, you got to earn your keep. Like, okay, well, what have you done? That's fine. You want a WNBA championship with the Aces. That's fine. I can respect that. But, like, get on board. Because you can't wear a shirt that says, pay us what you owe us, we deserve more, and the girl that brings in more eyeballs than anybody else crap on in the media. You can't do both. Pick one side of the fence and stay on it. Paul, what you got?
Well, hold on. Sorry. The other thing that, like, kind of bothers me about this, too, is that, like, at the same time, men do crap on the WNBA all the time, and it's very easy to make fun of women in sports. Like, it really is. Like, I think we can all admit that. Yeah. Like, men will also hate on the WNBA and the women. From another woman. Right, exactly. That, and also, like, the one thing that they'll say a lot that I see is that, like, oh, well, women are their own worst enemy or whatever, and they're just, like, proving them right. So it's a bad look for Kelsey Plum. It's a bad look for the WNBA, and, like, it was just a very unnecessary comment. There was no reason to make it
nobody
at all.
asked her, hey, who had more attendance, Team Clark or Team Collier? Like, nobody asked that. Like, she threw that out there, and like, to your point, like, she kind of is the WNBA's own worst enemy at this point, because support us. I'm not going to support my fellow athletes, but we want you to support us. It's just, it's kind of contradictory there. Paul O'Neill, what we got? We got a winner, we got a loser. Where we going?
I'm going to go a weekend winner. This is going to go to former MLB pitcher Anthony Ianson.
Let's go.
He was drafted in the 3rd round, 87th overall by Muso's Boston Red Sox.
Boo.
Yeah, not as much. But he signed his pro deal. He signed for $1.75 million.
Hell yeah.
His slot value for 87 overall was $907,000. So he did sign over slot. He was ranked 3rd in the NCAA in wins with 12 and in Ks with 152. So yeah, shout out to Anthony Ianson, signing that pro contract.
Let's go. Love to see it.
Yeah, shout out to Anthony Ianson. Left a heartfelt letter to LSU.
Yeah.
Like, that's just class act all the way around. And we knew that. Like, you had heard any interview with him throughout the season. Like, you knew how classy of a guy Anthony Ianson is. Like, congratulations to him. A guy that, for whatever reason, was under the radar. Like, if Kate Anderson is not on LSU's team, like, Anthony Ianson is probably first, second team All-American, like, somewhere in there. Just underlooked because he wasn't your Friday guy. But, like, I always made the point throughout the season, like, to me, it's 1A, 1B. Like, LSU has 2 aces at this point. Friday, Saturday.
Yeah.
I don't care. Like, they can both get it done. But shout out to Anthony Ianson. My first weekend winner is going to be Scotty Scheffler. So I had to come to take it or leave it with Beck on Thursday because Hunt had to roll. They had an early flight to get back to Baton Rouge. And he said, Taylor's going to watch any of the Open, take it or leave it. I left it. Well, turns out I was wrong. I sat down and watched the entire final round yesterday because I wanted to see Scotty Scheffler, and Scotty Scheffler dominated. He finished 17 under par throughout the whole 4-day tournament. He wins the Open. It is his 4th major championship. He's won the Masters twice. He won the PGA Championship. Now he has the Open. Look, I like a good sports fun fact, and I saw this yesterday. It was a graphic making the rounds. Everyone's going to compare Scotty Scheffler to Tiger Woods. Right, wrong, or indifferent. If I'm Scotty, I love the comparison. I know a lot of people say, oh, why do we have to compare guy to guy? Tiger Woods, between his first major win and his 4th major win. So 1 to 4, it was a total of 1,197 days. Yesterday marked the 1,197th day for Scotty Scheffler between his first Master and his 4th. The comparisons are going to stay there. Scotty Scheffler, the most dominant player in the sport. And, like, it's weird. You know, he's a guy that doesn't show a ton of emotion. However, I loved the emotion he showed yesterday after winning the Open. He threw his hat up in the air. His little boy came and ran out with him. He paraded him around the 18th green, holding up the trophy. Like, we need more of that. But Scottie Scheffler's almost a boring golfer because he makes it look so easy. Like, you expect this from Scottie Scheffler. Like, he hit it into the rough yesterday. I'm watching it, and everybody on TV's like, it's actually not that bad of a shot for Scottie. Like anybody else, yeah. And then what does Scottie do? He hits the ball up with his 6-iron about 15 feet from the hole. Like, that's just what Scottie Scheffler does. Even when he gets in the jam, he knows how to get out of it. He is playing at a level we haven't seen in a long time. Weekend winner, Scottie Scheffler. Anybody else got anything?
I mean, I know we talked about it last hour, but Dustin Poirier, even though he lost that fight, has to be a weekend winner just based off of like his send-off. It was incredible. So shout out Dustin. Shout out to UFC 318. Shout out to the UFC. Like, I know it's a very niche sport and not a lot of people like it, and I didn't really realize that until this weekend because, like, y'all know that I've always really, really enjoyed it, but UFC is freaking fun and amazing.
It's so weird. Like, I agree with you on giving Dustin Poirier weekend winner, but, like, you always have to give one to Holloway as well. Not because of the fight win, but because going into it, like, this was all about Dustin Poirier.
He was so respectful.
The retirement tour.
Yeah.
He was so respectful, but also, like, so many people were like, oh, Dustin's going to win this fight. Like, it's set in stone. Like, this is his fight.
He was the
Holloway
underdog.
goes in, wins, doesn't brag about it. I mentioned earlier, like, chatting with Poirier after the fight. Like, as much as you wanted that big fight win to be about you, he still made the moment about Dustin Poirier. Like, weekend winner for me has to be Mr. Max Holloway. Paul, I want to ask you this. This has nothing to do with weekend winner, but you mentioned the Boston Red Sox. And this is something that I've thought about a lot. So many people say the New York Yankees have so many bandwagon fans, so I can't be a bandwagon fan. However, I think I know more Red Sox fans than any other fan base in the major league. And the reason is, oh, well, they're not the New York Yankees. So, like, so many people are jumping on the Red Sox bandwagon because they don't want to be the Yankees. But, like, I know more just random Red Sox fans than anything else.
I can see that. I think I personally still know more Yankee fans than Red Sox fans. But yeah,
I think I only know 2 Yankees fans. They both work here.
Yeah.
Landra and Moscona. That's it.
My brother's a Yankees.
Is he?
Yeah.
I don't know your brother. Shout out to Mr. O'Neill.
No.
No shout out to Mr. O'Neill.
But it's just weird. Like, I see that a lot. Like, people are like, the Yankees have so many bandwagon fans. I'm like, yeah, but aren't you kind of doing the same thing just despite the Yankees?
Yeah.
Like, I see that a lot. Everybody I went to high school with were like, why are you a Yankees fan? Well, I mean, why are you a Red Sox fan? Well, they're the Yankees' biggest rival. Okay, so didn't you kind of just do the same thing that you can? It's just something I've always thought about. I'm not accusing anybody of anything. It's just something I've noticed from afar. Okay, one more weekend winner from me. Con Knuppel of the NBA. They're there in the summer league. He took the Hornets to their first summer league title, and he's been dominant. He got drafted 4th overall, and there were a lot of people right after the NBA draft that were like, that is way too high for Con Knuppel. He's more of an 8, 9, 10 draft pick. You drafted him at 4 overall. He has looked like a stud so far. I understand that it's summer league. The competition's going to be better, but right now, that investment by the Charlotte Hornets certainly seems to be paying off. Con Knuppel looks like a stud. All right, does anybody else have a weekend winner or loser?
No.
All right, well, we're going to take a timeout. When we get back, Shamar Stewart, Cincinnati Bengals, they are in a contract hold. We'll break that down next here on Off the Bench.
Off the Bench.
It's not good when the old intro net is spinning and you're like, oh, we got to get that world clock going.
Yeah,
Switch to the phone and we got it working. It's okay. Just like K to Z is going to get you working. Interior, exterior, does not matter. KTOZblinds.com is the website. Have Brandon Barton and his whole team come out to your space. It is one of the cool things about K to Z. Like Brandon Barton, who is the owner, he'll be there. Like he's going to be one of the guys oftentimes that is on the project saying, yeah, this is what you need. Let's go with this color. He's going to get like a booklet. It's going to like open it up to the perfect page. Here's what you need. Incredible service. KTOZblinds.com.
Yeah, functionality, but also like make your house just look more beautiful, look better. Financing options. Go to their brand new website, K to Z Interiors and Outdoor Living, KTOZblinds.com.
There it is, the extra mile on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
These ice cubes could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they cradle and cool the crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Nicely done, ice cubes.
River Parish Contractors has immediate openings for structural steel shop fabricators. Call or text Big Jake today at 318-547-1000 or go to rpcontractors.com and click on employment. River Parish Contractors. Let's get building.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Men, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. This, it's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
When it comes to choosing energy for your family and your home, make the smart choice with natural gas. You can count on efficient and affordable natural gas to keep you comfortable and reduce your environmental impact to help protect our planet. Together, we're fueling our energy future. Atmos Energy.
From the locker room to the airwaves, it's Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and Matt Flynn.
Welcome back in. Hour number 2 here on a Monday edition of Off the Bench. Taylor Sharp sitting in for Jacob Hester and Matt Flynn. We got Alondra Villarreal and Paul O'Neill along for the ride as well. Okay, rookie training camp for most NFL teams starting up this week. The New Orleans Saints will be on Wednesday. And to open the show, I mentioned Tyler Shough was the last remaining second-round pick that wanted guaranteed money to get that guaranteed contract at 40 overall. He got it. He's going to report to training camp. Everything fine and dandy on the black and gold front. Well, one first-round pick is still unsigned, and that is Cincinnati Bengals rookie defensive lineman Shemar Stewart. He's unsigned. All of the Bengals rookies reported to training camp on Saturday. Shemar Stewart was not in that number due to an ongoing dispute. So what it is it's a contract dispute, but it's not over money. So the rookie wage scale was implemented in 2011. Stewart's fully guaranteed contract would be 4 years worth around $18.9 million and about a $10.4 million signing bonus. Like that's set in stone. That's not really something you negotiate a ton of one way or the other. Now you could turn something into your signing bonus, have more up front on the back end, but as far as like number, that's pretty much set in stone. The disagreement is over language in Stewart's contract. So what it would do is trigger the voiding of his salary guarantees with a breach or a default in the contract on the part of Stewart. It says the Bengals want to tighten up the language to remove any ambiguity over whether all remaining guarantees in the contract void with a default. Now, you can kind of see both sides of this. Stewart's camp wants similar language to what Amarius Mims, the first-round tackle that the Bengals took last year, what was in his deal. He was actually selected one spot after Stewart. Stewart selected 17 this year. Mims selected 18 a year ago. Now, there's not a ton of detail on like what the defaults or what the contract breaches would be on Stewart's part to consider voiding all the guaranteed money. Look, you can look at it from both sides. Let's pick on Stewart first, and then we'll pick on the Bengals. If you're Stewart and you aren't planning on breaching anything, not a ton to worry about with the language. Now, I get it. You want your contract a certain way. You feel you have earned it. I can respect that. To me, not just Stewart, but on the part of the Cincinnati Bengals, this is an ego issue for both sides. If you're Stewart, you're like, hey, I want what everybody else got. Why are you singling me out? If you're the Bengals, it's, hey, we're paying you close to $18 million on your rookie contract. You take what we give you. I can see both sides, but it's not about money. Can both sides just get over it? Can you find some sort of common ground? Like, reports now are that the Bengals are not budging and Shamar Stewart's not budging. And there is a certain date in 2025 that if you're not signed, it's sometime in December, you could like potentially apply for some sort of waiver and like re-enter the 2026 NFL draft. So like that's possibly an option. I personally don't think it gets there. There's a reason we haven't seen that. And then, there was a report last week that's saying Shamar Stewart, he's practicing with Texas A&M. Like, is he going to try to sue the NCAA? And I mean, we know that if you sue the NCAA now, you're going to win. Judges hate the NCAA. And they were like, oh, if you sue the NCAA, you could potentially go back, get your final year of eligibility back. Well, Mike Elko came out last week and kind of squashed that notion. He was like, look, he's at our team facility using our facility to work out in the offseason. He's not practicing with the team. He's not doing conditioning with the team. He's doing his own stuff at our facility. Shocker. Shamar Stewart's not going back to school. I thought that was kind of a load of crap when we first heard it. To me, though, Bengals, Stewart, this says a lot about both sides. The Bengals are terrible at contract negotiations. For example, Demetrius Knight, a 4th-round pick this year for the Bengals, also still unsigned. You have yet to re-sign Trey Hendrickson to a long-term extension. He wants the money he thinks he's owed. You've done next to nothing to get that contract done. But also, maybe they believe there's a reason to be extra cautious with Stewart, which kind of says a lot about him as well. Like, Shamar Stewart, in my opinion, was a bad pick anyways. You drafted a guy 18th overall based purely on potential. It wasn't based on on-field production. In his 3-year career at Texas A&M, Shamar Stewart, 65 tackles, 12 tackles for a loss, 4.5 sacks. He had 4.5 sacks in 3 years and went 17th overall. Now, I get it. He's a little bit more of a run stuffer, but, I mean, the production just really wasn't what you wanted it to be. Not a guy playing big-time college football who's going to get drafted in the first round. Stewart will sign at some point because I don't think he has a choice. Again, he can sit out and try again next year. I don't think he does that. I don't know if the Bengals fold. Like, I would like to say they come to some sort of common ground, but again, the Bengals are so bad at contract discussions and negotiations that I don't know if the Cincinnati Bengals are going to budge on this. Reports are right now that they're not. But how many times do you see reports, this is this team's hard number, they're not giving a player a penny more, and then like 2 days later, they give them like a record-breaking contract. That happens all the time. My advice for the Bengals, though, like, work on this when you can. You got to worry about Trey Hendrickson, too. You got to re-sign this guy. Like, Trey Hendrickson was the NFL sack leader this year. 2024, 17.5 sacks. Oh, you want to know what he did in 2023? Also 17.5 sacks. Since he's been in Cincinnati, 14, 8, 17.5, 17.5. That's how many sacks he's had per season. So one season with less than double digits, then he's had 14, 17.5 twice. The guy's a stud. He is a top 5 pass rusher in this league. Pay it. You just saw TJ Watt get a huge number. Myles Garrett got a big number. Like, all of these guys are signing big-time contracts. Don't let Trey Hendrickson walk out the door. You've already moved on from a number of defensive guys you shouldn't have. You had one of the worst defenses in the NFL. Like, according to Pro Football Reference, your defense was ranked 25th in the NFL last year out of 32 teams. In case you're wondering, that ain't good. Like, how much money did the Bengals have left? Like, that's a question a lot of people ask. Well, it's your fault for signing T. Higgins. Like, I love T. Higgins. I think he's a great receiver. Signing him to a deal that big was a bad move, in my opinion. I get that your starting quarterback comes out, and when Joe Burrow says, hey, you have to re-sign T. Higgins, the team feels like they need to. However, like, I get it. Joe wants the weapons to play with on offense. You got to shore up that defense. Offense wasn't your problem a year ago. Burrow put up huge numbers. Like, Jamar Chase is, if not the best, then no less than the second best wide receiver in the NFL. Your running game is solid. It's fine with Chase Brown and Zach Moss. Your offensive line's actually getting a little bit better. That's not saying much, but it's getting better. You have to shore up the defense because there were a lot of times last year the Bengals had put up 35, 38 points and looking for one stop on defense to potentially win a game, and they couldn't get it. And that's why they've missed the playoffs 2 years in a row. You can't have that happen. You have to re-sign Trey Hendrickson. You ultimately got to get Stewart done as well. But like, I want to blame Stewart. I want to be the guy to be like, he's getting $18 million guaranteed. Just sign the contract and move on. If you're not worried about breaching the contract, then the language shouldn't matter. But at the same time, the Cincinnati Bengals have a terrible track record when it comes to contract negotiations. Stewart's unsigned. Demetrius Knight's unsigned. Trey Hendrickson's unsigned. Not only is Trey Hendrickson unsigned, like, all reports come out that, like, you offered him a deal a long time ago and, like, you refused to negotiate. Like, you're the Bengals. It's not like you're the Kansas City Chiefs and people are going there to win a Super Bowl. You need all the help you can get. You're not one of the premier franchises in the NFL. You're not a destination spot right now. You're lucky you got Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. They're keeping you about as relevant as you can be. Get it together, Bengals. Get it together, Shamar Stewart. Get this done. Like, you're the final first-round camp holdout. Like, get it done. It's better for both sides if you get this done. Put your egos aside for a minute. Get the contract done. All right, look, we're going to take a quick time out. We get back. We're talking more NFL next. We're going back to the New Orleans Saints. I got Ross Jackson of Locked On Saints and LouisianaSports.net. He's going to hop on with us, get a little training camp preview. That's coming up next here on Off the Bench.
Off the bench.
You go there, Matthew, real quick.
Hey, buddy. All right. Well, we are going to, let's see, Get Gordon. All right, Get Gordon. Go to getgordon.com. Everywhere in Louisiana, you can call whatever your area code is. 888-8888. Look, injuries happen, accidents happen, whether it's on the road, whether you're at work, whether it's whatever it is. Call somebody that's going to fight for you, and that is Get Gordon. That is this whole entire team dedicated to helping you get what you deserve. Call them today anywhere in Louisiana. Like I said, 888-8888, getgordon.com.
Go to getgordon.com. That is the website. Gordon McKernan, injury attorneys, like Matt said. It is your area code in Louisiana. Follow by 888-8888. Get Gordon and get it done.
At Bayou Automotive, we believe in a sales process that puts you first. We want you to experience an easy purchase with clear pricing and great service. Let Bayou Ford and Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram be your trusted partners in finding your perfect vehicle. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Businesses like yours are the soul of our community. You deserve someone who'll deliver the internet services you deserve. That's why local businesses rely on Rev Business. 90 years of building connections. Visit us at letsrev.biz.
It's not just a game, it's a religion. You've got your team colors, team swag, and now your very own website. LouisianaSports.net. Everything LSU, Saints, and Pelicans. Sports on demand. In-depth coverage by sports writing pros with continuously updated news. And with the LouisianaSports.net newsletter, you get pinged directly with top trending stories. Best of all, now and always, no paywall. It's free. LouisianaSports.net. Powered by 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Your home for Louisiana sports.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar, but instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
From players to legends, Hester and Flynn break down LSU football like only champions can.
All right, welcome back in. Hour number 2 here on a Monday edition of Off the Bench. We're about halfway through our Monday show. We have hit a ton of topics so far. In just a few minutes, we're going to go out to Ross Jackson. He's running a little bit behind. Just got the text from him. So we'll catch up with him in about 2 minutes. But look, Saints training camp coming up on Wednesday. We opened the show talking about Tyler Shough. He got the fully guaranteed contract that a lot of these guys drafted high in the second round wanted. It'll be interesting to see the quarterback battle. Like, okay, hand up, all things equal, I would prefer the coaching staff go with Tyler Shough. He's a guy that has the potential. They drafted him for a reason. But look, the two guys that normally sit here, they've hyped up Spencer Rattler a lot in the coming weeks. Like, my take on Spencer Rattler, he was thrown into a really bad situation last year. It was a makeshift offensive line. You had no weapons at receiver. Everything was kind of all over the place. But at the same time, I think there were plays that Spencer Rattler made. I'm like, you can't make that throw. And I get it. You're trying to make a play. You're trying to show what you can do as a rookie. But what I saw from Spencer Rattler was Oklahoma Spencer Rattler, which got him benched. Now, again, he was a rookie. He was thrown into the fire. He probably didn't expect to play much at all last season as a rookie. But look, it kind of is what it is at this point. I obviously want whoever to win this job earned it. That's why I was talking at the beginning of the show. Like, it's important to have Shough just because, like, sure, Spencer Rattler may wind up being a great quarterback, but you don't want to give somebody the starting quarterback job by default because the other guy wasn't there. You want these guys battling and scratching and clawing for every single thing and ultimately let the best man win the job. Like, that's where we're at right now with Saints training camp. Like, the quarterback battle is going to dominate the headlines. There's a lot of other spots you got to worry about as well. Like, get everybody in the building ready to go for training camp. Speaking of training camp, we're going to go out to the phone lines right now. Our guy, Ross Jackson, with Locked On Saints and writes for our website, LouisianaSports.net. Ross, how are you this morning?
Hey, man, doing great. Thanks for having me. Thanks for your patience.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for kind of shifting things around. I know it's a busy morning for you because, well, it's a busy week for the New Orleans Saints, Ross. Training camp coming up. Look, I was just talking before you hopped on. Tyler Shough now on board, the contract situation in the past. How do you see this quarterback battle shaking out? You got Rattler, you got Shough, all training camp long.
Yeah, look, I think that it's going to be a very good quarterback battle. I think both of these quarterbacks performed well throughout OTAs and minicamp, with Spencer Rattler maybe having the slight edge as a guy that came in with a little bit more experience, more rhythm to his game, all those other things, right? He's seen the NFL game and the NFL speed already for a few games. And so I think all of that kind of goes in the credit of Spencer Rattler. But look, I think ultimately this is a little bit more of an uphill battle for Spencer Rattler than it is anything else because of the investment in Tyler Shough. And I'm not even talking about the contract, right? Like, the guaranteed contract was really a conversation of like 8%. He was either going to get a 100% guaranteed deal or he was going to get like a 90-something% guaranteed deal. And so it's not that huge of a difference in terms of what happened versus what could have happened otherwise when it comes to that contract. But I do think that, like, being drafted number 40 overall, being the highest quarterback draft pick in New Orleans in the NFL draft proper, not including the supplemental draft, since 1971. And if you do include the supplemental draft, okay, then since the 1980s. And he's, kind of been called Kellen Moore's guy. It sounds like he was kind of Kellen Moore that identified that this was the quarterback that he liked. And so I think, like, with all that in mind, when this idea of kind of turning the page and shifting to the new regime and shifting to kind of the new era of New Orleans, it's going to be hard to kind of outplay that idea of making that full shift. And so I think it's a tough battle for both these guys because they both have to prove it. And I think that whoever ends up out there week one undoubtedly earned the opportunity to be out there week one. But I wouldn't be surprised if throughout the 2025 season we end up seeing both of these quarterbacks for some amount of time.
Ross, all the talk obviously is going to be around the quarterback battle because it's the position with the most eyeballs on it, right? But as far as the guys protecting them, the Saints offensive line, we know what it's been the last couple of years. It's been pretty makeshift, but you draft Kelvin Banks in the first round. You're trying to improve that. Maybe going into training camp, what is your level of optimism for this group?
Yeah, look, it's funny. I think that the offensive line is both a source of optimism and anxiety for a lot of folks.
Right.
It kind of bridges the gap between both of those things because of what's happened in the past, and in particular, the injuries and kind of the drop off from the starter unit to the backup unit. And look, there's a reason why players are starters, and there's a reason why players are backup. There's always going to be some level of drop off. But when you got to the point last year where you were signing guys on Tuesday to play on Sunday, it was a little tough, right? And so I think that for New Orleans, really, this one, like the sign of optimism around all of it is that the Saints have kind of reshuffled things around, but are still returning 4 of their 5 starters from last year. Even though 2 are going to be starting in different places, it feels like there's still a level of continuity there. They get a top 10 tackle selection that was the Outland Trophy winner, that was the Lombardi Award winner, that was a consensus All-American in Kelvin Banks Jr. Like, there's good talent and a lot of investment there, first or second round picks all the way across the offensive line. But I think that the real source of optimism for this offensive line are the veteran depth pieces that were added this offseason. Dylan Radins, Will Clapp coming back. I think that both of those guys give you a better, kind of emergency turn to, should you need to, if there be any injury on the offensive line, than where the Saints were last year. They could continue to build that up. Lael Collins was on this very station talking about how he's had conversations with Kellen Moore, and so we'll see what happens there. But I think that really the big thing is the amount of investment that was in there, and this was a team that is showing again that they would rather build from the inside out, but I feel like they were really successful in doing that this offseason.
Ross, one more on the offensive side of the ball before we switch to defense. Ross Jackson, Locked On Saints, LouisianaSports.net, joining us right now. Look, as far as the receiver position, like, your frontline guys, like, everybody's like, oh, you need more help. Like, these guys may not be elite, but you know what they are. Like, Olave, Shaheed, Cooks, if they could stay healthy, like, they'll be fine. I want to know, like, the depth behind them. Like, is there a guy that you think maybe steps up behind those 3?
Yeah, I'm really curious about Cedric Wilson Jr. this year. The last time that he was in a Kellen Moore offense was his best season, over 600 receiving yards during that time. Took a lot of his snaps from the slot, which I think could help elevate the speed of guys like Chris Olave, Rashid Shaheed, and Brandon Cooks getting to work a little bit more on the outside, though I'm sure they'll also take snaps in the slot. You got a little bit of an interchangeable, versatile room here, but I think Cedric Wilson Jr. would be somebody that could contribute there pretty well. Good blocker as well, kind of helps you expand your offensive line when he's in the slot. I think Donovan Peoples-Jones is another one that I would absolutely watch. I know he's been away from the game, but he was super impressive during OTAs, minicamp, all that. And again, a really, really solid blocker, can contribute in the run game. I think the run game is going to be the big focus on this offense, because I don't think you're going to put that much pressure on either one of these quarterbacks to go out there and, be the big focus of the offense. I think the run game is going to be a big part of that. And so I think you're looking at who can contribute in that area of the game. I think Bub Means kind of bridges the gap between the guys that can be physical, but that also have top end speed, like Chris Olave, Rashid Shaheed, and Brandon Cooks. And so I think those 6 guys make a lot of sense to me. But players like Mason Tipton and Dante Pettis also make a lot of sense. Kevin Austin Jr. was in this offense. They've got a couple of undrafted free agent guys as well. So they had a lot of options to look at the position. But I think when you have your top 3 guys being those speed threat guys, those deep threat guys, I think filling out the room with the other physical players, I think makes a lot of sense.
Well, shifting over to the defensive side of the ball real quick. Obviously, the cornerback position is one that everybody's watching. There's a lot of uncertainty there. And then you've heard all off season long, like the name Asante Samuel Jr. keeps popping up. Like, is there any sort of update on him? And if the Saints can't land him, what does that room look like without him?
Yeah, I don't necessarily have an update on him, and we haven't really heard anything about him. But we do know that there are a lot of teams that are interested, or that at least have shown some interest and everything. And the Miami Dolphins feel like a pretty natural spot after having traded away Jalen Ramsey, even though Asante Samuel Jr.'s dad, Asante Samuel Sr., kind of laid in about the Dolphins organization and everything like that. So we'll see where things go. But I think even if they don't land Asante Samuel Jr., that the Saints are in a pretty good place when it comes to their cornerback room. It's just a little unproven, right? It's a lot of young players. And so I think you'd be looking at Kool-Aid McKinstry and Alontae Taylor as your locks. They're probably your starting two on the outside when they're in base sets, so when there's only two cornerbacks on the field. But then when they shift to those nickel sets where you get a third corner on the field, then I think Alontae Taylor moves into the slot. And then the conversation becomes between Quincy Riley, who was drafted this year out of Louisville, who's got that ball hawking, turnover production type of resume, and then Isaac Yiadom, who was outstanding with New Orleans the last time he was here in 2023. That the conversation becomes between those two guys about who plays opposite Kool-Aid McKinstry on the outside. And then I think Rico Payton is the guy to keep an eye out on, because he makes the roster as somebody that has both a really strong, history already with New Orleans, both in defensive production during his preseason last year, but also is one of your top gunners on special teams as a punt gunner. And that's an important metric or important, spot to fill opposite JT Gray. And so I think maybe those five guys. And honestly, I think if you sign Asante Samuel Jr., then you just end up keeping six corners in that way, because I don't think Asante Samuel Jr. necessarily leaps any of those five guys in terms of the way that they contribute, but I think could be additive to them, and certainly would be a good, depth piece to have behind Alontae Taylor in that star role, which is going to kind of elevate his kind of disruptive game style, play style on the inside when he's in the slot under Brandon Staley. And Asante Samuel Jr. has played that position before, so I think that's probably where he would most immediately fit in. Though of course he could, if signed, earn a much larger role than that as well.
Ross, obviously, we started this interview talking Tyler Shough, Spencer Rattler. So as far as rookies go, yes, Shough's going to have the spotlight on him, but outside of Tyler Shough, maybe like another rookie that the Saints brought in, it could be a draft pick, it could be an undrafted guy. Is there a rookie you're keeping an eye on?
Yeah, I mean, Kelvin Banks Jr. should be brought up in this conversation for certain. He's a rookie starter at left tackle, which, depending upon who you ask, is the second most important position in football as the blindside protector for either of these quarterbacks. Unless Hunter Deckers is playing, then all of a sudden, it becomes the opposite side. It's the left-handed guy. But under the circumstances of who's the most likely to be the starting quarterback for New Orleans, yeah, I think Kelvin Banks Jr. is the guy that kind of gets the focal point outside of Tyler Shough. I think the other guy to keep an eye out on, though, that's going to be really interesting is Danny Stutzman, linebacker coming out of Oklahoma, one of the best-rated linebackers in this year's draft class, off-ball linebackers in this year's draft class. And comes in and is able to maybe earn that kind of third linebacker role, although I think Nephi Sewell is going to be really hard to push out of that area. But then what happens if he hits the field at some point because of, injury, or somebody's got to tie a shoe or something like that? How hard is it going to be to keep him off the field? He's a great leader, very vocal guy, very active and athletic player, consensus All-American, all these other pieces. I think he's probably one of the most interesting additional players to watch that maybe won't step into a starting role week one, because there's only going to be two off-ball linebacker spots in this defense to start. But throughout the season, I think the spotlight will just grow brighter and brighter on him as a potential future piece to this, starting linebacker room.
Before we get you out of here, let me ask you about one more rookie. I'm glad you brought up Danny Stutzman. He's a guy that I'm certainly keeping my eye on. Mm-hmm. Look, you bring in Justin Reed in the offseason. You already have Tyron there. You already have Jordan Howden there. But I keep hearing so much about Jonas Sanker and his potential. What do you like about Sanker? You think he has a legitimate role on this team this season?
Yeah, I think he could, because of the fact that he can play in so many different areas and that you can deploy him in so many different ways. He can play in the slot. He can play deep. He can play down in the box. He can rove the middle of the field. There's so many different things that you can do with him. So he becomes this really interesting kind of, defensive chess piece in a way. I don't want to compare him to Taysom Hill, but there's such an urge to do that, because you can just kind of move him around and use him in 3 or 4 different places. But I think that because of that, where he becomes most helpful and where he kind of earns his role, probably from the beginning, is dime packages, being able to get him out on the field when you need 6 DBs, defensive backs, and of course, when there is an injury. And so the opportunity to be able to kind of plug and play him anywhere, I think, is what makes him so valuable. And then he'll grow into probably a more focused role after that. But I think he was such a smart investment by this New Orleans Saints defense and this New Orleans Saints team, just knowing their history and knowing that, like, there's players at those positions that might not be on the roster next year. And so you get a guy that can plug into a bunch of different places. I think there's real value there.
Ross Jackson, Locked On Saints. You can catch his stuff there. Also, read his articles at LouisianaSports.net. Does a great job in both spots. Ross, thanks so much for hopping on with me today.
Thank you, bud. Thanks for having me. You'll take care, stay safe, and I'll talk to you soon.
Absolutely. Ross Jackson right there. He is going to be a busy man this week as Saints training camp does start very, very shortly. All right, we're going to take a timeout. When we get back, we're closing out hour number 2 here on Off the Bench.
Off the bench.
All right, go to RussellPools.com. We are fired up to have Russell Pool Company on the squad. They are truly that one-stop shop that we talk about. Not only can they build your pool, they can maintain your pool. Any supplies that you need, you can buy them right there with Russell Pool Company. You go to the website, you see what they've done here in the greater Baton Rouge area, but we always say this. We trust them. You should trust them as well. And LSU, right, the Tigers, when they're trying to get back onto the field, they trust Russell Pool Company. It is truly remarkable what they can do. You'll be blown away by their projects right there on the homepage of the website. Go today, build that pool of your dreams, RussellPools.com.
Yeah, you have kids that are at that perfect age that you're tired of going to the neighborhood pool or your buddy's pool, whatever. Let them build your dream pool. From design to build to maintenance, whatever it is, RussellPools.com, RussellPools.com.
Flight by Yingling is raising the bar by crafting the next generation of light beer. With only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories, this is premium refreshment 6 generations in the making. Flight by Yingling. Raise the bar.
Parish Construction and Roofing.
This is Coach Kim Mulkey. Go to parishbuilt.com for all of your roofing needs.
From your hometown, parishbuilt.com.
Looking for the ultimate game day experience? Come to the Queen Casino in Baton Rouge. Savor game day platters and snacks, plus drink specials at 1717 Kitchen and Cocktail. So come out for game day and let our team make you the MVP. The Queen Casino, where every moment is a win.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. This, it's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
BRAC teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. BRAC, your #1 park system in the nation.
Rev Business is here to connect your company beyond your storefront. We're here to power your passion, improve your communication, and link you to your customers
From players to legends, Hester and Flynn break down LSU football like only champions can.
Yep, go to centralplumbing.org. Centralplumbing.org is a website for you. Yes, it's Central Plumbing, not only, though, in Central and the greater Baton Rouge area. We are talking to you. 225-925-8552 is the number. Kirby's still going down there.
Oh, yeah.
No matter game day, holiday, weekend, they got you covered. 225-925-8552, centralplumbing.org.
Yeah, go visit them today. Centralplumbing.org, centralplumbing.org. Doesn't matter when it is. If you have an emergency, it's 24/7 emergency service. So whatever it is, whatever you need, renovation, building a house, call them, see what they can do. Everything that your heart desires when it comes to plumbing. Centralplumbing.org.
All right, welcome back in. Final segment here in hour number 2, a Monday edition of Off the Bench. Tyler Shough sitting in for Jacob Hester and Matt Flynn. They will both be back tomorrow. Obviously, they had been in studio for a while. We'll see if they remember how to get here. They were out in Atlanta all week long, Monday through Thursday. They had the day off on Friday, and then they are off again today. But they will be back for the remainder of the week. But I'm here with you for about another hour or so. We got Alondra Villarreal. We got Paul O'Neill in as well. Thanks so much for Ross Jackson's time. Locked On Saints, LouisianaSports.net just hopped on with us. Break down all things New Orleans Saints training camp. I was going to hit something regarding LSU here. Two things. One, I want to spend a little bit more time on it, so we're going to push that to probably 9:30. Also, I saw a comment in the YouTube chat when me and Ross were talking about Tyler Shough. And I knew it was coming because it happens every time you talk about Tyler Shough's success his last year in college. Well, it's easy for Tyler Shough to have success in college. He's 25 years old playing against 19 and 20-year-olds. That is just such a bad argument. First off, you're a grown man when you are 20 years old. Being 25 playing against 20-year-olds is a lot different than being 18, 19 in high school playing against 14-year-olds. Let's get that out of the way right now. Like, we pick and choose so much about who we're going to throw that out there at. Like, okay, you remember back in 2023, Jaden Daniels, Bo Nix, they were battling for the Heisman all year long. Michael Penix in there as well. What did you hear? Oh, man, Bo Nix is old. He's been in college forever. Like, of course he's going to be good. How can you give him the Heisman Trophy? Man, Michael Penix has been in college forever. How can you give him a Heisman Trophy? Like, I love Jaden Daniels. I'm as big of an LSU fan as I am, but, like, I can also kind of see the hypocrisy on that. Like, I just checked. Bo Nix is 8 months older than Jaden Daniels. They're essentially the same age. Michael Penix, same age as both of them. Like, nobody said it about Jaden. You're going to bring it up about Tyler Shough, Bo Nix, and all that. Like, that's where you lose me. Because I don't think it matters. Like, most of the quarterbacks in college have success their 5th year. Dylan Gabriel just led Oregon to the number 1 ranking and the number 1 seed in the college football playoff. He was a 5th-year guy. Joe Burrow came here. He broke all kinds of records. He was a 5th-year guy. Jaden was a 5th-year guy, his Heisman season. I just mentioned Bo Nix, Michael Penix. They were first-round picks. Like, they were 5th-year guys. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, I get it. You can go look and be like, Tyler Shough had 7 years of college football. I mean, he played 30 games in 18. I mean, he was hurt. And you can say, oh, he had 1 really good year. Maybe we really don't know. The only other extended action we saw from Tyler Shough was 2020. When he was at Oregon, his 2nd year in school. 1,500 yards, 13 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. After that, he played, and that was 7 games. He played 4 games, got injured, 6 touchdowns, 3 picks, 7 games, got injured, 4 games again, got injured. We really don't know. So all this talk about, oh, well, Tyler Shough's 25 years old. Of course he's going to be good. Who's to say he wasn't going to be good, everything else? Like, 62%, 23 touchdowns, 6 picks. That's efficient, but, like, take the age thing out of it. First, he's a quarterback. It doesn't really matter how old he is. They play till they're 40. And secondly, like, let's be fair across the board. Like, get behind Tyler Shough. Don't constantly tear him down and be like, oh, he's 25 playing against 20-year-olds. You're a grown man when you're 20 years old. Like, literally, legally, you were an adult when you were 20 years old. Get out of here. That's an argument that I've always hated. All right, coming up in hour number 3, straight up 9 o'clock, we're going to be joined by Devin Snow, Hold the Mayo. He was out there at UFC 318 as well. We'll get his thoughts on that and maybe preview a little bit of Saints training camp. We still got a lot of LSU football talk left, and we're going to close this thing out like we do every day with a little bit of Ask the Bench. Again, this hour, very Saints heavy. Even talk some Cincinnati Bengals. But look, we got 1 more hour left on this Monday. That's coming up on the other side here on Off the Bench.
Off the Bench.
All right, go to allstartoyota of Baton Rouge.com. Buying new, leasing, renting, everything is available. If you need something bigger, the Sequoia, the Highlander, right there for you. The Sienna minivan, the Tundra, the Tacoma, if you're looking for a truck. Multiple sedans, multiple hybrids, multiple everything over at All Star Toyota. And it's also buying new, leasing, renting, all the processes we talk about. Every single thing is available. If you're renting, call Miss Lisa Sessions today to check out the new and leasing options. Go to allstartoyota of Baton Rouge.com.
Yeah, if you're in the market for a new car, you're just ready to get rid of that car you're driving around in right now listening to this show, go check them out. Toyota, you talk about reliable, you talk about safe, efficient, and whatever size you need, whatever. If you're hauling lumber, if you're hauling kids, if you're by yourself, you just want to look cool, go give them, see what they have today, see all the car models they have. All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge.com.
When it comes to industrial construction, River Parish Contractors can do it all. Mechanical, structural, custom fabrication, specialized welding, and turnaround services. Strategically located in between Baton Rouge and New Orleans, we have the local team with the experience and commitment to safety to manage the most complex industrial projects. Period. Here's the deal. Partnering with us means your project is delivered on time, on budget, and most important, safely. River Parish Contractors, let's get building.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is taking $22,500 off MSRP on the brand new 2025 Ram 1500 Laramie with $22,500 off MSRP with a complimentary 7-year powertrain warranty that comes with all new Bayou Automotive vehicles. If you need sales or service, the crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Businesses like yours are the soul of our community. You deserve someone who'll deliver the internet services you deserve. That's why local businesses rely on Rev Business, 90 years of building connections. Visit us at letsrev.biz.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Man, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. This, it's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and Matt Flynn.
Hands to Hester, and Hester, yep, got it, 5 out of 5.
From carrying each other to a natty to carrying each other on the air.
Flynn is back to throw for the end zone goal.
Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio, it's Off the Bench.
Welcome in hour number 3, the final hour of a Monday edition of Off the Bench. Taylor Sharp sitting in the host chair for our guys, Jacob Hester and Matt Flynn, both of which will be back tomorrow on Tuesday. Right now, we do it every Monday around this time. Let's go out to the phone lines. Our guy, Devin Snow, a.k.a. Hold the Mayo, on the phone right now. Dev, how are you this morning, bud?
Oh, I'm doing great. What's up, bro? How you doing?
I am doing good. Not as good as you. You were out there living it up at UFC 318 this weekend. How was that?
Oh, man, it was everything. I've been waiting for this to happen for years, but it was everything I imagined, like times 10. It was just a huge success. It was electric, man. First time I've had a UFC event, and it did not fall short whatsoever.
Was this your first UFC event going to?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I don't travel much, you know what I'm saying? So I had to wait, and dude, it was worth the wait.
I was looking last night and I'm like, man, did the city of New Orleans do enough to get more events like this? How about this, Dev? That fight between Poirier and Holloway, the most expensive gate, meaning they made the most money of any event ever in the Smoothie King Center. They sold it out. I mean, fans showed up. Like, I have to imagine there's going to be another fight coming to the Big Easy pretty soon.
Yeah, I mean, all you got to do is go look at the clip when Poirier knocked Max Holloway down. I believe it was in the second round when he knocked him down and he went for the guillotine. When you listen to the pop of that crowd, I mean, if I'm Dana White sitting right there, I'm like, right when I hear that, I'm like, dude, we gotta figure out when we coming back, man, because it was, like I said, man, it was electric, bro. Like, people showed up. It was a great crowd. It was once in a lifetime, but now I would say, hey, man, this has got to be several times a lifetime after that.
Right. As far as the fight itself goes, though, like it obviously goes the distance. It's a Max Holloway unanimous decision. So many people out there are like, oh, I would have judged the fight differently. I thought it was evident that Max Holloway won the fight. What were your thoughts on that?
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean, if you watched the fight, you would, you would definitely be able to take away that Max Holloway won the fight. Hey, man, it was a good fight, right? It wasn't a legendary, all-time fight, no. But, I mean, these two guys have done that every time they step in the octagon. Dustin Poirier don't really have anything left to prove. This was just a final send-off for him. I mean, I think that they did it right. The prelims were bangers. I mean, the first 5 fights all finished with a finish. So the prelims were electric. It was just one of those things, man. You had to be there from fight 1 to the end. I was there for 7 hours, dude. From 5 p.m. to 1:30 a.m.
Where'd you sit? How good were the seats?
I was in row 101. I mean, section 101, row 11. So they were great seats. They were amazing, and I'm gonna tell you, I saved up for over 6 months to get them seats. It was worth it, dude. No vacation this year, so I just did that.
I mean, that is the vacation. All right, who do we see? Like, I saw Theo Vaughn showing up, like, before prelims. Like, he was locked in. He was there about as long as you were. Like, who were some of the big names you saw walk in?
I mean, there was a lot of, like, notable UFC fighters there, You had Justin Gaethje there. You had Michael Chandler there. Korean Zombie was there. Diego Lopez was there. There's a lot of notable UFC people. Of course, like, the who's who, like, in the state. They were all there, It was, I mean, Cam Jordan, Blake Groupie was in there. Blake Groupie's everywhere. Blake Groupie goes everywhere, dude. I'm telling you, bro, nobody gets around the city more than Blake Groupie, bro. I see him literally everywhere.
I was telling Mina Laundrie, we're kind of recapping the fight at 7:45 because she was there as well. And, I was asking, like, I've never been to a UFC event. I imagine, like, everybody talks about it with hockey, right? Like, oh, the TV viewing versus the in-person experience is so much different. I imagine UFC is that and then some in terms of, like, being in the arena, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, I watch UFC every Saturday, and I love it. I love sitting in my house watching UFC, but this was, like I said, man, something like you have to experience. Yeah, what can I compare it to, man? It's like going to, like, somebody's concert that people tell you all the time. They're like, man, you have to experience this in person. That's what it was, man. It was a production of a lifetime. And that's why I think UFC is, like, one of the best organizations in the world because, I mean, it was such a great production.
Dev, let's switch over something coming up in New Orleans, Saints training camp. Getting ready to start here pretty soon.
Thank God.
Right. Like, man, there is nothing going. Like, thank God there was a UFC event in New Orleans this weekend. Like, there is nothing going on. Like, you had SEC media days, but, that's in Atlanta. Like, there was nothing going on. Like, trust me, for someone that's had to host a show here a lot recently, like the content, there ain't a lot out there. But look, over the weekend, Tyler Shough, he got the contract done. He did get that fully guaranteed deal. He'll be locked in for training camp. So him and Rattler obviously battling it out. But like outside of the quarterback position, obviously that's where all the talking is going to be. But like, what are you keeping an eye on?
Receiver, dude. Receiver. I mean, we need to find another receiver that's going to be consistent, that we can depend on, a third receiver that can make plays, you know, whether it's Brandon Cooks, whether it's one of these young guys, Bub Means, you know, whoever it is, we got to find another guy. So, I see in the chat, Usman and Mark Ingram was there, Ryan Claude. Yeah. But no, like, just got to find another guy that's consistent, man. I can, you know, stay healthy and make plays, bro. You know, it's not going to be easy for these young quarterbacks. So we got to find one more receiver.
Who do you think that guy is? I know it's a tough question, but like, who do you think that guy is going into camp? Like, that's going to get the first crack at that fourth spot.
I mean, I would hope it's like Bud Means. You know, what we drafted him in the 5th round last year. So I mean, I would hope it'd be somebody like him. I mean, I think Brandon Cooks is going to be a good addition for the team. He's just got to stay healthy. And that's the same thing with the two guys that are starting, you know, Shaheed and Chris Olave. Both those guys have like a little bit of injury history, one a little more than the other. But I mean, one of those guys goes down, bro. It's bad enough they're not big receivers, man. We got a bunch of horse jockeys at receivers. So, it's, you know, we need somebody who's going to be dependable, because that's going to be big for the growth of the quarterbacks, man.
Speaking of dependable, you got a hole at corner right now. Like it's bad to say, hey, Kool-Aid McKinstry is going to be one of our starters. Like he's a second-year guy that didn't play a ton, but like that's kind of where you're at. Like I would prefer Alontae Taylor stay in the slot instead of on the outside. Like you have Quincy Riley. There's been talks of Asante Samuel Jr., but like we haven't heard an update in like 3 weeks now. So who the hell knows what's going on there? But like I guess opposite of McKinstry, who takes that spot? Is it Riley? Is it Isaac Edom? Like, what are your thoughts there?
I mean, nobody really like jumps out at me. I mean, we can't say much about Riley yet because you ain't really seen him play in the league. But hey, man, it'd be nice to see our draft picks work out like that.
For once,
you know. Yeah, I mean, Quincy Riley, like that would be fire if he was just good like the first year. You know, I think that's one of the main things the Saints got to do better with this year is not like babying these guys, getting them on the field, right? Like how the Dennis Allen regime did.
Right.
Like they very sparingly put, like even with Kool-Aid, you know what I'm saying? Like very sparingly put these guys out on the field. Like I get it, they're young and stuff like that, but it's like, man, throw these guys in the fire, bro. We in a throw in the fire type situation. Like you got to see if these guys can ball or not. So it'd be nice to see like Quincy Riley show up. You know, Yayad, how you say it? Yayad? Yedem. Okay. I mean, we've seen this guy play. Do we think that this guy's going to turn into a superstar? More than likely
no, I mean,
not.
He's been in the league 8 years. He's kind of just been an average to below average player. Like, that's who he is.
Yeah, that's who he is. So one of you young guys that you drafted needs to step up, whether it's Kool-Aid, whether it's Quincy. Like, somebody's got to make plays out there, man.
Dev, it's so funny. Like, one more for you with the Saints. Like, it's so funny. Like, I just had Ross Jackson on at 8:30, and he brought up a perfect point. Like, there's reason for optimism with the Saints offensive line, and there's reason to be terrified with the Saints offensive line. It's kind of one or the other, depending on where you sit. Like, they bring in Banks. Hopefully Penning works out at guard. You got Fuaga at the other tackle. Like, what are your realistic expectations for this group? Like, my thing is, like, can they be solid?
Well, they should be. They should be. I mean, if not, we kind of being lied to, right? I thought Penning last year wasn't awful, right? Like, people were really hard on that guy. Like, going into last year, very hard on that dude. Like, he's unplayable, blah, 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 blah. I didn't think he was too awful, you know, especially given the situation. But now you even added another guy, dude from Texas. You know, we should be good at O-line. I mean, how many drafts do you want to spend on O-line?
Right. So
I think we talked about this.
4 first-rounders, and then McCoy's a second-rounder. That's your O-line.
They're averaging picking an O-lineman in the first round or the second round the last 10 years every other year. So, I mean, how many more years do you want to spend on offensive line, right? I mean, eventually you got to be like, hey, this is either it or, we kind of missed. So I think if anything, the O-line should be strong, And even when you start thinking about like some of the tight ends we have, some of those guys can block really good too, Foster Moore, not bad. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to that aspect of the game, I just think that we should be good enough at O-line to where we can take some shots and see what we got going on at quarterback.
Dev, switching from Devin Snow joining us right now, switching from the Saints to a little bit more entertainment. Obviously, last week, I wanted to get your thoughts on this because I thought you would 100% have an opinion on this. The Astronomer Tech CEO out with his HR lady at the Coldplay concert. What we doing?
I mean, I saw that, dude, and it's just like, first of all, there's a lot of that going on in the country.
Sure. Yes.
More than ever. I'd love to see the statistics on that. Man, very bold by that guy, right? I mean, at the very least, stand behind a few people. This guy is like, not even a row behind anybody. They right in the open. I mean, it's almost like, bro, like, what did you expect? You know what I'm saying? But you know what, bro? We all human. We all make mistakes, I guess. But that one right there, he's gonna have to do a lot of explaining. Her too.
Well, it's funny. Like I was thinking about this, last week when it first came out. Their reaction didn't help the situation. Like, sure, look, you're already on the big screen, right? Somebody in the crowd's going to recognize you. I didn't know who the hell this guy was until Wednesday. Like, the video doesn't go viral if you don't freak out and jump under the table.
Yeah, and there's so many other things you could have did, too. You could have held up, like, some drinks in front of your face. You could have, I don't know, man, pull an umbrella, whatever you got to do. You know what I'm saying? But when you ran like that and you ducked down, that was the end. That was the end, right? Like the guy on the PA. Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. Well, so Chris Martin of Coldplay is on the mic, and he goes, either they're having an affair or they're really shy. I'm like, well, little did you know, like, this is exactly what's happening. But I don't know if you saw StubHub, like the official StubHub Facebook page, 1 million followers, posted on Friday. They were like doing promos for the StubHub app to get your concert tickets, and they said, we have Coldplay concert tickets for you and your favorite coworker. Like, I mean, the stuff coming out about this is all time.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's funny it's at a Coldplay concert, It's like, I don't know, man, but they could have did better in reaction. They could have did so many things to kind of blow it off nonchalantly in a way. And it wouldn't have made world news.
Exactly. Like it was their reaction did not help things. Deb, before we get you out of here, it's Monday. It's RB&R day. Where are we going?
Alondra, where are we going?
He has absolutely no idea.
Yeah, I have no idea, man.
We should
it's just
stop
another
asking
month
him where he's going.
It's true. You know what? That's a good point.
It's a niche. It's a niche at this point.
So you just go based on vibes, like pretty much permanently at this point.
Very much permanently, dude. Till the end, till the very end. That's how I'm going.
What number are we on right now? I mean, it's what
271.
271.
271 Mondays in a row. That's over 5 years, man. I'm growing old doing this, man.
Man, it's wild. And what you have grown doing like since then, you're absolutely killing it. Dev, thanks so much for hopping on with us.
He told me he was going to do it forever.
Forever? You're going to be like 75 years old walking in with your walker getting the red beans?
No. Absolutely not. I mean, I'll still be eating them then, but it'll be far over from then. But, all good things eventually come to an end, bro, and that's all good things.
That's
Every one
right,
of
man.
them.
That's right. You have absolutely killed it. Dev, thanks so much for the time this morning, bud.
All right, y'all take care. Appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. That was Devin Snow, a.k.a. Hold the Mayo. All right, we're going to take a quick time out. When we get back, we're talking some LSU next. You're on Off the Bench.
Off the bench. The bench.
All right, go to trashrangers.com. Trashrangers.com, reliable and hassle-free trash removal services in South Louisiana. Residential, commercial, 3 different sizes of roll-off dumpsters as well. You can pick up the phone, give them a call at 225-612-2477. Say, hey, here's what I have. Here's our project. They're going to know how much you are going to be trying to get rid of, and they're going to make sure you have the right roll-off dumpster on your project. Again, go to the website today. That's trashrangers.com.
Yeah, Trash Rangers. Give them a shout. The big red dumpsters, the big red trash cans. Residential, business, industrial, whatever your trash needs are, give them a call and let them size it for you. If you're cleaning out your garage, you're cleaning out the attic, you got a commercial project that you just don't know what size you need, let the professionals. And also weekly text reminders. Never forget to take the trash out again. Trash Rangers, trashrangers.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
At Atmos Energy, our smart choice solutions help customers save energy and emissions with rebates up to $500 off high-efficiency natural gas appliances, smart thermostats, and weatherization upgrades. Together, we're fueling our energy future.
Looking for the ultimate game day experience? Come to the Queen Casino in Baton Rouge. Wall-to-wall TVs mean you'll see every touchdown in HD. Place your bets and feel the thrill of every play with our DraftKings Sportsbook. The Queen Casino, where every moment is a win.
Men, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
You gotta believe in the dream. Believe. You gotta believe in the dream. Believe. You gotta believe. My whole team on wild.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar, but instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground.
From the locker room to the airwaves, it's Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and Matt Flynn.
Welcome in Monday edition. I got a little ahead of myself there, guys. I wish it was the end of the week. Monday edition. We still got a long week to go here on Off the Bench. Taylor Shough with you, filling in for Jacob Hester and Matt Flynn. Right now, I want to talk a little LSU football because over the weekend, Hunt Palmer right here at LouisianaSports.net and the folks over at LSU Wire kind of put out a similar list. So for LSU Wire, it was 3 breakout players for LSU. Hunt put out 3 Tigers that could make all SEC. I'm like, okay, well, you got to break out to make all SEC. Those are kind of one and the same. I want to look at both lists, kind of break down the similarities and where they differ. We'll start with the LSU Wire article. They have Trey'Dez Green. This makes sense. There's not many guys out there that are 6'7". He's an athletic freak. And a lot of people have said, okay, well, Bauer Sharp's coming in. It's a 2 tight end system. How is that going to affect Trey'Dez Green? I think it helps Trey'Dez Green a lot. Because Trey'Dez is not going to be your 3-point stance, hand in the dirt, traditional tight end. He's not. I don't think he's ever going to be that. With Bauer Sharp in the game, you can run a 2 tight end set, have Bauer play your more traditional spot, and move Trey'Dez Green out wide, where he is an absolute matchup nightmare. However, if you were out there at spring practices, Bauer Sharp's versatile too. I mean, there were times where he was lined up at slot receiver, running slants. I mean, he's not your run-of-the-mill, just average everyday tight end as well. Bauer Sharp can move around. So the versatility of both of those guys, I think, is going to make for a great duo all season long. Like, it makes so much sense that Trey'Dez Green is on this list. The next pick is Tyree Adams, and I love this pick for obvious reasons. He's probably going to be your starting left tackle. Replacing Will Campbell is going to be a tough ask. I get that, but if you remember, Tyree Adams last season got hurt early in the year. And he's a guy that the coaching staff was high on. Like when he went down with an injury, Coach Kelly said, look, he may not be one of our starting 5, but it's a big-time injury because he's basically our 6th offensive lineman. I mean, if anybody goes down, they're going to do some rotating, and Tyree Adams is going to slide in there and be part of that starting offensive line. And that was an O-line with a lot of talent last year. They felt good enough about Tyree Adams then to be like, hey, he's our 6th guy. He's our swing man coming off the bench. This makes a ton of sense to me. All the talk in the offseason is going to be about the offensive line, and rightfully so. It's your biggest question mark. You have to replace Campbell and Emory Jones, guys that were bookend tackles for 3 years. You have to replace Garrett Dellinger, who played a ton of football. Miles Frazier came over and was really, really good for you when he transferred over from Florida International. I mean, he was a stable piece of that offensive line for multiple years. One of Brian Kelly's first big-time transfers that he brought over, like obviously outside of Jaden Daniels, but Miles Frazier made a big impact on this team. The only one you have coming back is DJ Chester, and that's where they go next. They say DJ Chester is going to have to break out. I get the versatility. I'm not sure if anyone would consider him a breakout player, though, in 2025. He's the guy you're the most sure about on the offensive line. He's the guy that when you look and you say, okay, whether it's guard, whether it's center, DJ Chester's going to fit somewhere on this offensive line. And I know everyone's going to say, oh, he wasn't great at center. Okay, that's fine. If you want to move him to guard, he was pretty good after the snap. You got to get the snap corrected if he is indeed going to play center. But after the snap, he was actually pretty good. And you need some sort of stability, some sort of leadership on the offensive line. I expect that to be DJ Chester. He's the only returning starter from a year ago. He's that steady presence. More than anyone on the offensive line, you need DJ Chester to be that steady presence. I think he's going to be that. And like I get where they're going with this in terms of like, hey, these are guys you need to make a big impact. I'm not considering DJ Chester a breakout player just because I think I have a pretty good idea knowing what we're going to get from DJ Chester. A solid offensive lineman that can be versatile, that can play both guard spots and center. And he's going to start somewhere on your offensive line. I know what I'm getting with DJ Chester. Going back to Tyree Adams, that one makes a lot more sense because he's a little bit more of an X factor. One, he's going to have to play left tackle in all likelihood, blocking Garrett Nussmeier's blind side, which is super important. And he got some starts last season. He played well in the bowl game, but he has not been an everyday, every down SEC player. And he's going to have to do that on a team that has championship aspirations, on an offense that has a ton of weapons at skill position, that everyone's looking at that offensive line for someone to step up. Why can't it be Tyree Adams? As far as our guy Hunt Palmer at LouisianaSports.net, Hunt puts out 3 Tigers that could make all SEC. He also mentions Trey'Dez Green. Again, for the obvious reason, Trey'Dez is going to be a matchup nightmare. You saw it in the bowl game. When Mason Taylor didn't play in the bowl game, you saw Trey'Dez Green make a big impact. Called 2 touchdown passes in that game. And he was all over the field. He lined up at your traditional spot. He lined up in the slot. He even lined up out wide on some plays. I think in that bowl game, you saw a sneak peek of how Trey'Dez Green is going to be used this year. And it was actually more predictable what he was going to do in the bowl game because you didn't really have another tight end. Again, going back to Bauer Sharp. With Bauer Sharp in the game next to Trey'Dez Green, it makes everything a lot more confusing. Because, like, everyone's going to say, okay, well, Bauer's going to play the traditional tight end spot. That moves Trey'Dez Green out wide. Why can't they flip it? Because I promise you, Bauer Sharp is more athletic and more versatile than a lot of people think. You don't know who's going to line up where. That's what makes him so dangerous. Adding to the fact that he's an athletic freak at 6'7". That helps as well. The next name on this list, Hunt Palmer mentions Patrick Payton. I love this pick. He was very productive at Florida State. He is your most experienced pass rusher coming into the season. You want Jack Pyburn to become a pass rusher. Jack Pyburn came to LSU to be an every down player and a third down pass rusher. When you go look at Florida, overall his numbers were productive. He didn't rush the passer a ton. So while he's going to be on the edge and you think he's a sure tackler, he's a guy that's going to play hard for you like he did at Florida, you don't really know what he's going to do off the edge on third down pass rush situations. Same could be said with Jamari Butler. A little more so than Jack Pyburn. He's a little bit more proven as a pass rusher, but numbers-wise, I mean, Patrick Payton, by far the most productive transfer you brought in terms of guys that are going to rush the passer. And he's lean. He's 6'5", only about 220 pounds, but he can get around that edge. He's a fast guy. This makes sense. There was a mock draft about a couple months ago that came out, an early one, and like you don't look at mock drafts that early, but the point was they had 2 LSU players going in the first round. Garrett Nussmeier, who was going in the top 10, and then borderline first-round pick was Patrick Payton. That's what scouts think of him. That's the kind of impact some believe he could have on this team. Because I think the secondary is better. I really do. Pickett's coming in. Ashton Stamps is in his third year. You bring over Mansour Delane, Jakeem Jackson. You got 2 really, really productive players in Tamarcus Cooley and A.J. Halsey back there at safety. But every secondary, good, bad, somewhere in between, needs help from the pass rush. You have to get after the passer. Because that quarterback stands back there 4 or 5 seconds, he's going to pick apart the defense because eventually it doesn't matter how good your secondary is. Somebody's going to sneak open and the quarterback's going to find them because they're in a clean pocket. You have to have a pass rush. I think Patrick Payton can be that guy. Now, LSU's going to rotate a lot. I mean, I mentioned Butler. I mentioned Pyburn. Don't forget Gabriel Relaford, who showed some flashes a year ago. All of these guys are going to rotate, but I think when you need if you're in the Clemson game, you need somebody to get in there, rush the passer on third down in a big moment. Patrick Payton's getting the first crack at it. No question about it. Can he be this year's Braden Swinson? Remember the jump Swinson made year 1 to year 2 when he was under Kevin Peoples. Last year, Peoples came in after following Blake Baker from Missouri, and Braden Swinson was excellent. I mean, at the halfway point of the season, Braden Swinson was leading the SEC in sacks. Braden Swinson can play football. I think Patrick Payton can do the same thing because you're replacing Swinson on one side and Savion Jones on the other, who wasn't quite the elite pass rusher that Swinson was a year ago, but Savion Jones was a really good player. You have both of your edge positions that need to be filled. Now you have 4 guys to take 2 spots. I think that's fine. I didn't even mention Damian Shanklin, who's coming in as a freshman. I think LSU did a really good job at the edge rusher spot, but maybe none bigger than Patrick Payton. The last name Hunt puts on this list, DJ Pickett, the 5-star true freshman cornerback. This pick is certainly based on potential, obviously, because he hasn't played a ton, but look, he has a ton of size. He's got the speed. He's about 6'3". DJ Pickett has the body to play corner or safety. I prefer to put him at corner. I think that's where he could have the biggest impact, at least on this year's team. Everyone expects him to be the next great Tigers DB. You have Corey Raymond back in the fold. If anybody can get it out of him, it's Corey Raymond. I'm not sure how much DJ Pickett's going to play this year. I would love, part of me wants a DJ Pickett to come in, prove he's the best player right away and play. Part of me doesn't want DJ Pickett to play at all because you're not having to rely on a freshman. You hit on the transfers that you brought in. Your older guys that have been in the program for a number of years, they've stepped up as well. I get the pick. I don't hate it at all. DJ Pickett is a great selection. But is there anybody else being overlooked? As far as a breakout player next year, I would love for it to be Ashton Stamps. So I'm going to go corner, but a little bit different. He's your most experienced DB at LSU. Because he didn't start as a freshman, at least not most of the year, but he played in a lot of games and started towards the end of the year. If you remember, you were so beat up that year that kind of 2/3 through the season, you had Javian Toviano on one side, Ashton Stamps on the other, and you just kind of threw him in the fire. He performed well. Last year, he was a solid piece. Got overlooked a little bit because of the excellence that was Zy Alexander on the other side, but he showed promise. He took a step. He took a step from year 1 to year 2. It was a solid corner for you last year. Can he take another step? Can he be an elite player? Can he be the leader of that secondary group? He's essentially entering his 3rd year as a starter. Because, again, he played a ton as a freshman, was your starter all last season, comes in again this year. I'm hoping Ashton Stamps can lock down one of those cornerback spots. In an ideal world, Stamps has one side locked down. You have Mansour Delane, Jakeem Jackson, and DJ Pickett all fighting for the other spot because Stamps has been that good in camp. That is my hope. That should be every LSU fan's hope. Speaking of, like, you have Mansour Delane on the other side, and a lot of people expect him to be a stud. I get it. He was really good at Virginia Tech. A lot of people said he could play corner and safety. But he'll have to adjust to the SEC. Jakeem Jackson hasn't played a ton at Florida due to injury. DJ Pickett's a freshman. Ashton Stamps, like, for better or worse, is kind of that known commodity at this point. If he can lock down one side, it'll help settle down that other corner spot. You could go to Delane and be like, oh, Stamps will help you on the other side. If he's not working out, hey, let's throw in DJ Pickett, see what he's got. Let's give Jakeem Jackson a shot. But if you can lock down one side of your defense, that'll help everything else. And I think there's potential that Ashton Stamps could maybe be that guy. Like, you look, he doesn't have an interception in his 2 years playing here, but he had 14 passes defended last season. He was better than a lot of people think. And I get it. There were times where he got beat. There were times last year that everybody on the defense got beat. That's why it was shaky. I think that's going to improve this year. It's his second year under Raymond. It's his second year in the Blake Baker defense. Like, Ashton Stamps is a guy that I'm personally keeping an eye on. Maybe could be that breakout player for LSU's defense, obviously, at a very important position. All right, we're going to take a quick timeout. When we get back, we got a lot still to hit on here on a Monday edition of Off the Bench.
Off the bench.
You know what's better than one Dos Equis?
Dos Equis?
Dos Equis. It's always a great time, and now is the perfect time. We still got some summertime here. Don't get the Sunday scaries about school starting and all the new things starting. Like, you still got some time, and it is the perfect time. Lake beer, river beer, beach beer does not, pool beer, golf course beer, airport beer does not matter. It is always a great time to go for Dos. And Matt will even give you the website.
DosEquis.com. So we're kind of Jake and I are kind of getting a reputation around here, like in the evening and at dinners and stuff, because they're like, we order Dos Equis like every time we go to the bar, and like people around us are like, hey dude, you don't have to, like, it's not the show. It's not a sponsorship opportunity. We're like, no, like, we legit. This is who we are. This is what we drink. Like, we're Dos Equis. So jump on that bandwagon. Go for Dos this summer. A little bit of summer left. Go to the pool. Get some ice cold Dos Equis. Go for Dos.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
ED, low T, or simply seeking to optimize your health and performance? Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness offers a range of discreet services to address your specific needs. We empower men to reclaim their health and confidence. Visit yourgoodwood.com.
We're Rev Business, a local provider with nearly 90 years of experience. So when it comes to business in Louisiana, we know that personalized service is key. And we're here to go the extra mile with all fiber solutions that deliver what every business needs: reliability and quality. We're not just providers. We're the local team dedicated to helping you succeed. True partnerships are homegrown. Rev Business, internet, phone, managed services. Visit us at letsrev.biz.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief: our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Tigers turn talkers. This is Off the Bench.
Welcome back in. Monday edition of Off the Bench. Taylor Sharp sitting in for Jacob Hester and Matt Flynn. We got just over 20 minutes left on today's show. There was a lot of different directions I could have went in this segment, but I do want to mention this because anytime someone who has made this big of an impact, not just on me, but all of LSU fans, decides to hang it up, it is something you want to mention. And if you saw it on Friday, LSU announced that legendary PA announcer for Tiger Stadium and the Pete Maravich Assembly Center, Dan Borne, is stepping away. He will no longer be the PA announcer inside Tiger Stadium. For me, it's another one of those things in life where it's like, I'm getting older. The things I enjoyed growing up that made me a Tiger fan are going away, and I'm not okay with it. But, you know, when you look back on it, like I remember first LSU game I ever went to was LSU versus North Texas. And I wish I could remember the year, probably around 2000, 2001. I'm 28 years old, okay? So Dan Borne, only dress announcer inside Tiger Stadium that I have ever known, at least as far as I can remember. And, I mean, his voice has just been synonymous with so many big-time moments. Like, I remember, like, okay, obviously that was my first game, right? And we had season tickets when I was growing up. Me and my dad went to all the games together. I remember that. I remember when he would announce the Golden Band from Tigerland at halftime. I thought it was the coolest thing ever. You hear him announce the band, and they come out, and they make those notes that everyone in the stadium claps along with before the opening kickoff when the band comes out and does their thing. It's always Dan Borne's voice that you hear. I remember 2011. Everybody remembers the game dubbed the game of the century, right? LSU goes to Alabama. You win 9-6 in overtime. After that, LSU was in the driver's seat to make it to the national championship. And I remember LSU was running out of the tunnel. There was Les Miles doing his signature holdback when he's holding everybody back. Trying to make sure they all run out at the same time and a little bit for dramatic effect, obviously. Dan Borne got on the PA and said, here's your number one ranked Fighting Tigers of LSU, and everyone lost their mind. I mean, I can remember the game where the guy that sits in this chair, Jacob Hester, all the fourth down conversions against Florida. Dan Borne's voice just echoing through that stadium as it erupted. I mean, I remember that same season. Matt Flynn to Demetrius Byrd to beat Auburn with 2 seconds left. Like Dan Borne made all those calls. Like even in basketball. Like if you're not a big basketball fan, LSU's run to the Final Four under John Brady, when they won the SEC for the first time in forever under Will Wade, it was always Dan Borne. Like it's going to be different. It's never going to be the same. But when you look back on it, appreciate the moments that were there. Like when I think of LSU and Tiger Stadium, I think of Dan Borne. You remember the poem that he put out? It was the Pantheon of Concrete and Steel, the Cathedral of College Football. I mean, hell, they still play it on the TV before a lot of the home games. You'll hear him do the starting lineup with the guys on the big screen. You'll even hear him say penalized instead of penalized a lot in the stadium. Like, it's all the little moments that you're going to miss. And you just look back and you're like, man, like 38 years, Dan Borne was the voice of Tiger Stadium. That's a good run for anybody. I don't know who's going to take over for Dan Borne. I don't know what it's going to sound like in the future. It's still going to be a great atmosphere because it's Tiger Stadium, because it's the best venue in all of college football. Because when you have Death Valley rocking at night, there's no other place like it. But it's never going to be the same without Dan Borne. Like, whatever flowers and coverage he gets, like, Dan Borne deserves. He's been a staple of that stadium. Like, it got to where Like, if Dan's sick or something like that, and would have to have a fill-in. Like, I remember the first time I heard a fill-in for Dan Borne, I was probably, I don't know, 11, 12 years old, probably 7th grade. And I didn't even hear the name on the PA. I didn't care. I didn't even care who it was. I was like, this is not Dan Borne. Something's missing. Doesn't sound right. Like, this is going to be a heck of an adjustment for a lot of people, but, like, he deserves it more than anybody. Like, Dan Borne has been the voice of Tiger Stadium for my entire life. Most of you out there listen, like Paul's entire life, Alondra's entire life. The guy's done it for 38 years. I'm 28 years old. That's all I've ever known. The stadium's still going to be great. It's still going to be an excellent atmosphere. But there will never be another Dan Borne. All right, we're going to take a timeout. We're going to break a little bit early. We're going to do an extended version of Ask the Bench. Get your questions in the chat. We're wrapping this thing up next. You're on Off the Bench.
Off the Bench.
All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge.com. Buying new, leasing, renting, everything is available. If you need something bigger, the Sequoia, the Highlander, right there for you. The Sienna minivan, the Tundra, the Tacoma. If you're looking for a truck, multiple sedans, multiple hybrids, multiple everything over at All-Star Toyota. And it's also buying new, leasing, renting, all the processes we talk about. Every single thing is available. If you're renting, call Miss Lisa's sessions today to check out the new and leasing options. Go to allstartoyotaofbatonrouge.com.
Yeah, if you're in the market for a new car, you're just ready to get rid of that car you're driving around and right now listening to this show, go check them out. Toyota, you talk about reliable, you talk about safe, efficient, and whatever size you need, whatever. If you're hauling lumber, if you're hauling kids, if you're by yourself, you just want to look cool, go give them, see what they have today, see all the car models they have. All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Baton Rouge's home for real rock. It's Eagle 98.1. Foo Fighters. Led Zeppelin. AC/DC. Pearl Jam. And the flagship home for LSU sports. Take us anywhere with the Eagle 98.1 app. Eagle 98.1 is the rock station.
Men, age is just a number. Don't let it dictate how you feel. Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness has anti-aging services that can help you look and feel your best. Visit yourgoodwood.com and discover a renewed sense of vitality.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. This, it's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
These are the luckiest ice cubes in the world. They could have been a thankless bed for an all-you-can-eat salad bar. But instead, they've been called upon to cradle and cool a crisp, refreshing Dos Equis. Looks like the lucky just got luckier. Dos Equis.
At Luba Workers' Comp, our journey began over 30 years ago with a simple belief. Our clients come first.
At Luba, our business has always been focused on people, not policies.
Through every success and challenge, we've continued to grow because we've stayed true to our values, committed to providing you with genuine dependability.
Because your well-being is more than a priority. It's our purpose.
Tigers turn talkers. This is Off the Bench.
Welcome back in. Final segment here on a Monday edition of Off the Bench. Jacob Hester and Matt Flynn out today. Taylor Shough sitting in the host chair. We got about 10 minutes to go here on this Monday. We're going to hit you with a little Ask the Bench, so get your questions into the chat. We got a few right now. I'll throw this first one to Alondra, and then we can go a little back and forth on this one since we're both big country fans. Tristan Abair says, Ask the Bench, one of the Barstool shows did a greatest female country song draft last week. What would be your 1-1? So the song you would draft first overall. Alondra, you want to take this one?
I don't know. There's so many good ones. Like, I love Pam Tillis. Don't Tell Me What to Do is a good one. Suds in the Bucket's a good one. Shania Twain, Never Goes Wrong.
Yeah, like Feel Like a Woman is still iconic to this day. Like that's one of the first ones I thought of.
I don't know. That one's like super played out. But the what's that one Shania Twain song? It's not that one. The other. Okay, I can't think of the name.
One?
No, I can't think of the name of it right now. Hold on.
For me, yeah, Shania Twain.
Any Man of Mine.
Any Man of Mine is another great one. Reba McEntire. Anything Reba McEntire is going to be up there. I mean, there's so many. Like Loretta Lynn, if you want to go way back. Like Loretta Lynn's up there. Lori Morgan's up there.
I mean, the Judds.
The Judds are up there. I'll tell you what I'll throw out there that would not get picked 1-1. May not even be my pick 1-1. But it's just a song that every time I hear him, listen to it all the way through. Strawberry Wine by Dina Carter.
Oh yeah, that's a banger.
Like again, and that's one that not a lot of people think about. Because like Dina Carter didn't put out a ton after that. She had some songs after that. Like the longevity wasn't quite there, but like Strawberry Wine by Dina Carter, that is a top 5 female country song for me. That might be a top 5 country song, male or female. Like that song there is just a phenomenal one. Like that's definitely on there. I don't know if it's my
Redneck Woman by Gretchen Wilson's a banger.
Redneck Woman's up there. Like there's a lot. This is a lot tougher question than I thought it was going to be. Here's another Ask the Bench. Ask the Bench, will Big Noon Kickoff overtake College Game Day with the addition of T-Bob Abear? Okay. We love our guy T-Bob here, obviously. I mean, I said Jake and T-Bob on Friday twice instead of Jake and Matt, and Alondra accidentally played a live read with T-Bob in it. Like, we can't get him out of our head here on OTB.
I just picked the wrong one.
No, we are not. Big Noon Kickoff will not overtake College Game Day. Like, that's not going to happen. Like, I promise you, first off, Big Noon Kickoff is going to be a lot more Big Ten Central. College Game Day is way more nationwide, and it's the guest pickers on College Game Day. It's the music. It's the Home Depot hard hats that you get. It's intro and an outro through commercials. It's panning through the crowd. Like, it's everything on College Game Day. It's not just the host up there. I know a lot of people, like, there are a lot of people that really do not like Pat McAfee on College Game Day. I think McAfee actually does a really good job on College Game Day. Like, you know, we had talked about Lee Corso a while back, announcing he's stepping away. Like, Ohio State, Texas is going to be his last game. A few years ago, let's talk about this with my dad, because I mean him watch College Game Day every Saturday when I was growing up. It's one of the reasons I fell in love with college football. We were like, man, you know, like, Corso, like, it's, like, he's about to hang it up. Like, you know, there's not a ton of years left that he's going to be able to do this. Who can do it? And, like, one of the first names I threw out there was Pat McAfee's entertaining. Got a heck of a podcast. Like, Pat McAfee's a guy out there, and I know a lot of people don't like him. I think he brings a lot of energy to that show. Like, him and Saban together could not be more different personality-wise, but I think they work so well together. You can actually tell they get along. They got to sit right next to each other on the desk. And then you got Herb Street, who's as locked in as anybody else. Reese Davis is a great host. You have Desmond Howard, a former Heisman winner. Like, everything on that show fits so perfectly together, in my opinion. Like, again, everybody's like, oh, McAfee's too silly. You need a little bit of that. Like, without McAfee, of course, so hanging it up, like, the show's way too buttoned up. You need a little bit of a mixture of both. Saban's going to give you all the X's and O's. Kirby's going to give you all the behind-the-scenes stuff. Desmond Howard's going to give you the Heisman winning type player view of everything. And McAfee's there for entertainment purposes. Like, I think it's the perfect mix of everyone. No. Big Noon Kickoff is not going to overtake Big Noon Kickoff is not going to overtake College Game Day. Like, I promise you, Big Noon Kickoffs at a premier Big Ten school and College Game Day wants to come in, they're booting Big Noon Kickoff. Like, there's no question about it. It's not even close. Like, respect to those guys. They've built something pretty good over there. It ain't College Game Day. Ask the bench, are you buying the new version of the NCAA Football 26 game? I already have it. I don't know if Alondra and Paul play this game. I already have it. I bought it, I guess the day it came out. I bought it. I was excited that you're gonna get to play in high school as far as the Road to Glory. If you hadn't played it yet, spoiler alert, the high school is not that great in it. You play 5 games, but everything's scripted. It's like, to earn points to get an offer from this school, you gotta throw a play action pass for a first down here. Like, you can't just go out there and free play. It's all scripted. You have to do this in this moment. It's like, it's fine, but to me, it kind of takes away. Like, you're so focused on doing the moment, you're not really like playing the game. Like, I was a little underwhelmed on that. I mean, college football is college football. I'm not gonna not play it. I haven't done Dynasty yet at all. Like, I don't do a ton of Dynasty. That takes up a ton of time. I'm somebody that has a pretty busy schedule. I don't have a ton of time, as most people here in this building are the same way. But I don't know. It's kind of whatever to me. Like, we were talking the other day, me and Jordan, when he was filling in when I was hosting AFR, he was doing audio. We were like, everybody was excited about the college football video game, but when you look back on it, like, college football 25, like, wasn't actually a very good game. There wasn't a whole lot you could do. Like, there wasn't any game modes. You could do Road to Glory straight into college. It's kind of boring. And then, like, Dynasty was okay, and that's really all you could do. Like, they added a few features here in 26, but it's not that great. Ask the bench. Would Alondra ever take a Kelsey Plum shot at Rivers?
I mean,
it
depends, right? Like, it depends.
Yeah. Like, what did she do? Like,
As of now, no.
Same situation? No, probably not. Because, like, Alondra just criticized her for how she handled that situation. So, exact same, no. But, I mean, really, if she's talking that noise, Alondra ain't afraid to talk that noise back.
True.
It depends.
It really depends.
Yeah, like, it depends on what happened. Ask the bench. Who is taking T-Bob's place on Whiskey and Wine? Full disclosure, we don't actually know. Like, Matt was actually talking about this a couple weeks ago. He's like, we don't know what we're going to do. Well, we'll figure it out. We'll cross that road when we get there. No idea. I don't think it's going to be the same. It might be a little bit different. They'll announce more as we get closer to that opening game at the end of August. But as of right now, nobody. Like, that's kind of where we're at the moment. All right, that's pretty much going to do it for today's episode of Off the Bench. We had a jam-packed show. We talked a ton of LSU football. The media poll of all SEC first, second, and third team came out. The projected order of finish, LSU Tigers projected to finish 4th there. Tyler Shough got his new contract with the New Orleans Saints. Fully guaranteed deal, first time ever for a 40th overall pick. He's going to be out there at training camp battling it out with Spencer Rattler. Look, we had Ross Jackson come on. He broke down everything at Saints training camp. There's a lot to look at. Like, obviously, we're going to mention the quarterback battle, but the offensive line's a huge question mark. You spent a lot of draft capital, 4 first-round picks and a second-round pick on the O-line. How good are they going to be? What is your receiver depth going to look like after your first 3? Who the hell is going to start at corner for the New Orleans Saints? What's the defensive line? The linebackers going to look like? We broke it down all with Ross. We had Devin Snow come on the show. He kind of recapped his time at UFC 318, as did Alondra. Like, huge event in New Orleans. For those that didn't hear it earlier, the Smoothie King Center completely sold out, and it was the highest gate in terms of money made for any event in the Smoothie King Center ever. Obviously, it wasn't going to be the New Orleans Pelicans because people don't go to New Orleans Pelicans games, but of any concert and event, UFC 318 by far the most. I think they've done enough to get another event in New Orleans. We'll see. Look, we talked Dan Borne hanging it up after 38 years. We don't know who his replacement is going to be yet. I'm sure more information is going to trickle out before football season. Like, the impact that Dan Borne has made on so many Tiger fans inside the stadium, it's hard to replicate. Like, we hit on so much. Jake and Matt will be back tomorrow. They have a ton to recap. Like, they got They got to talk Saints training camp as it's coming up. They got to recap their time in Atlanta. There is so much to break down. We got a busy week. I imagine we're still going to have Nick Underhill tomorrow as well. Stay tuned for all of that. They are back the rest of the week. So we finally got the full crew back in studio for the first time in about 2 weeks. So stay tuned for all of that and more. Again, ton of LSU, ton of Saints. You can catch all of that on the OTB Saints and OTB LSU YouTube channels. That's going to do it. We'll be back same time, same place tomorrow here on Off the Bench.
Off the Bench.
All right, go to yourgoodwood.com. Yourgoodwood.com is the website for Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Bottom right corner of the website, you can get that consultation booked. You can find a full list of services. You can find pricing as well. Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. until 5 p.m. It is right there on Drusilla Lane. That number to give them a call to set that consultation up, 225-4GD-WOOD. If you have a problem, help Goodwood get to the bottom of it. How will you do that? You'll book that consultation, live life without fear or embarrassment. Yourgoodwood.com.
Yeah, don't settle for mediocrity. We're all human. We all have issues. There's people out there that can fix it, and that is at Goodwood Men's Sexual Wellness. Yourgoodwood.com. Schedule that consultation. Go to their website, see their pricing, their services. Start their treatment for $125 per month, people. Yourgoodwood.com. Check them out.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Family owned and community driven.
Service Chevrolet Cadillac, a legacy you can trust since 1972. Service Chevrolet Cadillac, our family serving your family.
For over 50 years.
At Sunshine, we know what you see when you look at your land. Where others may see dirt, you see the foundation you've built your life on. This, it's hallowed ground. It's past, present, and future. We're proud to provide quality John Deere equipment to help you maintain the land you love. Check out our current promotions and learn more about what it means to be powered by sunshine at sunequip.com.
It's not just a game, it's a religion. You've got your team colors, team swag, and now your very own website. LouisianaSports.net. Everything LSU, Saints, and Pelicans. Sports on demand. In-depth coverage by sports writing pros with continuously updated news. And with the LouisianaSports.net newsletter, you get pinged directly with top trending stories. Best of all, now and always, no paywall. It's free. LouisianaSports.net. Powered by 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge. Your home for Louisiana sports.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Breck teamed up to reimagine your parks, and you imagined big. With your help, we went to work creating 12 beautiful community parks across the parish. A family-sized water park, miles and miles of trails, and parks just for your dogs. There are more places to splash, to explore, to run wild, and even soar. You imagined, we delivered. Gold. Breck, your #1 park system in the nation.